welcome to there we go. All right, welcome to the first game of the second set of today, and indeed, let's go. Says Tomichiwa in chat. Indeed, let's go. Indeed, this will be Team Secretito versus Bloodseekers. Bloodseekers being in the odd colors and Team Secretito in the even colors. All right, let's just introduce the players. We'll just start with blue as we usually do. Hey, that rhymes. In the blue, we have Camilo playing as the Malay. In the green, we have Panzer playing as the Persian Panzer. I made that joke before, didn't I? I think I did. He played Persians last time too. In the teal, we have David Espinosa. I happen to know the full name there. Playing as the Slavs in the teal. In the gray, we have Isis Ragnar playing as the Italians. Ooh, that's an interesting pick for a map. But then again, since Britons and mine were banned, maybe not so much. And also Ethiopians, because they didn't have access to that. Because that was banned by Team Secretito. As we have the Zeus here in the red going for the Tars. Oh, interesting pick on this map. Wouldn't say that's impossible. We'll see. Then we have Brutal here in the yellow playing as the Persians. I like that. In the purple, we have Negan playing as the Magyars. I like the combination. And then last but not least, we have Tomichiwa playing as the Ethiopians. Like I said, they banned this Civ so that the other team could not get it. And unlike the other 4 banned Civs, which were globally banned, because both teams banned it, Ethiopians was available for them. So yeah, there you go. Tomichiwa probably very happy to have a strong Archer Civ on the flank there. I definitely prefer Ethiopians over Malay, although Malay have that crazy potential with the extra villagers, the extra economy, because they go up to the next age faster. Alrighty, well, are there other civs that we need to talk about here? Now, I like that both teams, I wouldn't say that they're listening to my suggestion. I mean, they might just know that by themselves, but are at least, following what I suggested, have suggested a lot, which is to combine a camel civ or a camel/knight civ. And oh no, ooh, that was close. Nice save there. Nice save. To combine a knight civ, right, which it would be Slavs, with a civ that can make camels as well, like Persians. And the same thing over here, right? It's Persians and it is Magyars. Now, I'm not going to claim that every team took that notion from me, but I have been saying that for weeks, and I'm glad to see that teams agree with me on that one. And the reason for that is, if you don't have camels available and your opponent does, they can just make camels and win fights more easily, by mixing them in here and there, making the melee fights much more dangerous when you just have knights. And you see that Magyars, Franks, Teutons maybe to a certain degree as well. Civilizations that can only make knights, they struggle against civs that can mix in camels, or worse, Indians. Not necessarily. I'm not saying that it's like always a bad thing, but especially if you're up against Berbers, it's so easy for Berbers to mix in a bunch of camels because it's so cheap all around. To have more units on the field, and then you're not only outnumbered, you're also out camel. Did you know, by the way, that is historical? Like, there is a reason why in most games camels actually have a bonus versus horses. Like, if you've ever played Total War, if you use camel riders, they scare horses, right? So you get a morale penalty if you are, you use cavalry against camels. And the reason for that is that camels stink. And they look weird, and they make weird noises. So horses are actually afraid of camels. Like, this was a real thing in medieval battles. This deal, save the Vil, save the Vil, save the Vil. Okay, nice. Yeah, so that was a real thing in battle. So horses were actually afraid of camels, which is why that carried over in a lot of games. So in case you didn't know that, now you do. That will also that will also help you if you were ever in the desert, right, with a horse and you pass camels. Comfort your horse, because it might get scared there. Camels are smelly, by the way, but I still love them. They're such derpy creatures. Oh god. Okay, I'm talking about camels too much here. We're supposed to talk about Age of Empires. Let's talk about resources real quick here, because people are already going up to the feudal age. Back gold for red, but has 2 main gold forward, and actually lots of gold in the middle here between gray and red, so they will definitely be fighting over that, man. It's like a teeny tiny gold rush situation between red and gray there. That's cool. Forward berries as well, that will be fine. forward main gold for Gray here as well, and his other gold is kind of to the side and not that safe either. So Gray, yeah, I mean both these golds are kind of, all these golds are kind of bad, right? But then at least Red has a safe gold in the back, which he's going to be taking. If he walls down here, that should be good. And Gray also sees this now, so that's good as well. As, ooh, Teal trying to snipe Red Scout, but Red hiding under his town center. That's probably a good idea. On the other side, wow, almost a similar situation here, as there's a lot of gold in between blue and orange here as well, which means it's kind of like a little gold rush for them as well. And, well, that's kind of bad for blue, because all his golds are forward. That gold is forward, that gold is forward, and this gold is forward as well, and then his berries are forward. It's like New Arabia, man. At least not anymore, because nowadays it will be King of the Desert for Arabia. We asked, and they listened. I've actually never played on the King of the Desert 4 Arabia, so I don't know how, I don't know how it is compared to the King of the Desert 3 Arabia, but we'll see. It can't be bad, it can't be worse than the New Arabia, right? And then we have, wow, okay, a main gold here for orange that is quite far to the middle, and looks like he's planning on walling around that as well, so we'll see about that. Has a gold on the right side as well. I mean, I guess he could wall through these wood lines, maybe, but, yeah. Also making some men-at-arms here, and I like that with Ethiopians, and the reason for that is simple. You get them for free almost, because you get 100 gold, 100 food at the start of each age, and, well, so that upgrade is super easy to afford without extra hassles here. As blue now realizing, oh, that's militia, that's not good. Okay, well, now it's not men-at-arms just yet, so blue is still thinking about fighting this here. We'll now try to force... At least he's trying to force up this archery, but I think he misclicked there. I think he misclicked. Okay, there it goes. But now they're men-at-arms. Now they are men-at-arms. But blue will get the archer range up, so that's good. But could lose a villager here if he's not careful. And, ooh, could lose an archer as well. Nice pick up there for orange. You know, these men-at-arms already getting some value here. Good. On the other side, not much happening yet. I mean, it's all about this side. As the archer does go down, the villager gets away, though, so that's good. For blue, I mean. Yeah, orange will just be trying to harass here, and oh, blue, you really gotta retreat with these units, man. You don't give them kills here. And now purple showing up with some scouts as well. That's good. That's good, you know, because the scouts can more easily block the villagers, and then the men-at-arms can finish them off. And that villager, you know, being a bit too strong-headed there, wanted to go to the gold, just like, that is my job, and I will mine gold, god damn it. Yeah, I paid the price for that one. Red and yellow, the first to move out here with some military. Teal has some scouts in the area, but losing one pretty quickly there to the archers and the scouts from yellow. So I'll have to keep them back for now. Not seeing that much army from gray just yet, but he does have a wall up in the front, so he should be fine for now. What about orange? Orange still denying this gold from blue here. And again, remember, blue has only forward golds. He can't make archers right now. He doesn't have the gold for it. And the thing is, making skirmishers here, it wouldn't really help either, because, you know, they would just die to the scout. So this is kind of tricky. I like that blue is going to at least add some economy. Yeah, you kind of have to do something here. As blue's not going to fight with his villagers here. There's a lot of weak villas in here as well, which orange could kill, but yeah, men-at-arms do go down, so that's the end of that. But orange, in the meantime, has gotten to wall up most of the front of his base, and the archers coming forward already. As purple will just run through here. And his gold is still not secure. And if I was blue right now, tower. Right now, tower this gold. Because you haven't been able to make archers in a really long time. That means that orange will have archers, more archers than you. Means that your gold, which was already not secure, is gonna get under siege again. And here we go. Orange right back with the archers, and now you're off a gold again. It's just really well played by orange and purple together. This is just exactly what you're supposed to do in the early game. See, gray towered his gold, so this gold cannot be ranged by the archers from red. Like, gray probably realizing that that gold was still not really that secure. I mean, he walled towards it, so that makes sense. So yeah, at least he's going to keep that safe for now, as long as the scouts don't get in here. Which, oh boy. Teal, you got to help here. You got to help Teal. Gray could lose some archers here. Yeah, this is really good from yellow. Finding those stray archers. Teal's scouts were not in the vicinity just yet. Now they joined the fight, but I think the archers... Sniping 2 archers there for 1 scout, definitely worth it. Gray will get those walls up, at least. Bit better than blue here. Blue is in a bad spot, and especially as melee, you're in a bad spot because melee is just not so strong militarily, especially in the early game. Like what you want to do is melee, you want to delay, right? It's in the name. As blue is now dropping a tower on his wood line, he kind of has to. He has to stop this rush from somewhere, but this tower, of course, does not secure his gold at all. As orange does lose some archers there to the tower, so that's pretty good. Actually loses all his archers to the tower, so that's good for blue then. He does manage to clear that up, but in the end it still doesn't save him. It doesn't save him. The walls aren't up. He doesn't have the gold to make archers here. Nothing. And orange can just sit behind his walls and be like, yeah, this is fine. This is totally fine. And unlike the dog in the room that is on fire, orange's base is not on fire. He is just actually fine. While red and yellow, you know, they still control the front of gray's base. Like this army for teal has been in the back here, can't really do something. And ooh, dangerous situation here as red kind of moving too far away from yellow, but yellow gets there in time. Teal didn't react in time as well, so it ends up being okay for red and yellow here because you don't want to be caught off guard here, especially not against scouts that have upgrades. These scouts have armor. Now the thing with Tatars is the early game, right? The early game is what that's a scout, okay. The early game is what is difficult with Tatars, right? Because you don't get a lot of eco bonuses, you fall behind other civilizations as well. But if you can get to castellates, and you can get to, say, tanky cavalry archers, anything like that, you will be loving life. And Patagonia has hills, right? Patagonia has plenty of hills to control as well. And you get a extra hill bonus damage with Tatars as well, which is why people like playing Tatars on maps like Pampa, where there is hills, which is why I thought Tatars would be picked. But, yeah, well, works here as well, I'd say. As red and yellow looking to push into gray's base, they still can't deny the gold, but at least they could deny other things. As gray's going to drop a tower in the front of his base here to try to stall out this pressure. Will I go up in time, though? I think it's getting so close. That villager should go down here, but the tower should go up. Goes up. Okay, well, at least that will keep the archers away from the left of his base. They can still run kind of through the middle here, but now blue has been on gold for a while here. Actually has some archers out as well. I think he used the market maybe to sell some stuff so he can make archers, which is yeah, I like that. I like that, but don't move out here. Don't move out. No fletching or anything. You cannot possibly move out against Ethiopian archers here. As blue now finding out the hard way why moving out was a bad idea there. Ooh, but green making it into orange's base, and orange now for the first time feeling some of the stress at his own base. He's off a gold for a while, as he's well, he hasn't clicked up the castellates just yet, but that's good. You know, stopping the gold production for a second, always good. And in professional team games, that is mortal. No, that is lethal. That's the word. Everyone's mortal. I like this extra precaution here from Gray, you know. Yes, you have a tower, but these scouts can still sit right underneath that, right? Archers can still sit right underneath that. As Gray is just rang the town bell, which garrisons a lot of villagers, some of which were not in danger. As he is defending for now with some archers as well. You know, it's hard for Red to push through here. Staying close enough to his town center that, you know, that the scouts from Yellow cannot really engage there. Ooh, nice micro there from Red. Dodging some shots. Good stuff, man. That's really good. But yeah, Gray just has too many archers. So, yeah, nice micro from him as well. Ooh, but far away from the TC now. And Yellow immediately looking for an opportunity here to try to snipe these archers. And is going to get most of these. There's nothing that Gray can do about this. He's too far away from the CC. Can't garrison. And there you go. Scouts paying off in value already. And now they will be replaced by Knights. And Bloodseekers, they are defending on both sides, but they can't, like, they're struggling to hold right now. I can see aggression from Team Secretito. Or Little Secret. That's hilarious. While Teal's sending in some knights, much needed knights here as well. I like that Gray is probably on stone to get himself a castle, maybe. I mean, honestly, if you don't have crossbows, you might as well go for Genoese crossbowmen, right? I mean, why not? Why not? Let's see. As Purple is perfectly happy just to raid right underneath Blue's town center, and even sniping the few archers that Blue had. Oh, God. Not that blue was on his way to Castlate or anything. He's actually long ways away from that. Like, blue is in a worse spot than gray, but gray is still not pushing. And because gray is not pushing, because he doesn't have an army to do so, red switches into CA. And why not, right? You have a lead. You have a strong lead over your opponent. This is exactly when you want to switch into cavalry archers. They have more HP than the normal archers, so they are actually better than normal archers in my opinion. They will die to spearmen though, and to Genoese crossbowmen, because they are classed as cavalry. So that is definitely true. But there's such nice units to micro. Just need some bloodlines here. And yeah, the Tatar player is going to be super happy after this one. It's going to be really difficult for Teal to chase down these cavalry archers as well. Like, crossbows you can chase down. Not so much with CA. And when you're blue, what do you do here? What do you do? I mean, it's too easy for orange and purple just add a siege workshop if they really wanted to. And just kill blue off straight. And green will have to defend on his own now, which... we all know defending on your own with just cavalry is very difficult. Green is actually just ignoring this, just running right past. I wonder if this will prompt orange to build a university for ballistics. Just so that doesn't happen anymore. Where are these knights going? Is that a hole? That's not a hole, is it? Is that a hole? Let's just quickly check here. And it was a hole! It was a hole, but Orange figures it out. He was probably like, wait, why are those knights going to the back of my base here? It's because of a hole, but yeah, now Purple will be sent in to deal with that. As the Orange will wall behind. All good. Gray's still making some crossbows. I wonder if he wants to try to get a castle up. I mean, honestly, getting a castle up on this hill would be super nice. It's just, with what army are you going to force that castle? Like, the military count for the Zeus and Brutal here is much higher than it is for Gray and Teal. If they had the army, they could actually drop a castle right there, controlling both these golds, kind of saving your gold on the front here more so than the town center does. That would be really nice, but you need to have military control to do that. Otherwise, you can't. Okay, Orange and Purple now dealing with these knights here. That should be good for them. A bit of a breather for blue then. You know, green distracting the armies from orange and purple. That was good. Red losing some cavalry archers there. Still doesn't have bloodlines. That is concerning to me. Should probably get bloodlines here. Because, I mean, that is the main advantage of cavalry archers. Mobility and HP. But yeah, I bet that blue wishes he had a castle up in the front over here as well. Like, a castle on this hill would be really nice. But yeah, this hill is so important for blue. And he doesn't control it. He can't control it. He's not in castlades. He's on his way. He will get there really fast because he's melee. But, yeah. And now red and yellow, they're thinking about running in here. They're thinking about, and are actually going to run in here as well. And now, oh crap. Wall it out. So close. That was so close, man. Those knights would have run straight under that tower and denied the only gold that Gray... actually, no, he's taking gold up here. So it's not as bad then, but still. How much stone does he have? Okay, he just bought some stone there. Did you see that? That was 200 stone immediately. That's too much here. So he can now drop a castle if he wants to, but where will that castle go? You can't get it up on this hill. That's impossible. That's not going to work. But where else would it go? We'll see in a second then if Gray actually decides to drop the castle. Yeah, Purple has way more knights than the Persian player here as well. Persian player probably will try to boom. It's only on 2 town centers as well, so that's he will be behind in the Vil count then. That's great. Taking a fight here together with Teal. Teal kind of shielding these cavalry archers. Cavalry archers do have bloodlines now, so they die less fast here at least. But there's so many of them as well. They can one-shot knights almost. And then I think they would still be better. And especially on a hill. You don't want to fight the Tatars when they have a hill. Like this. That hill, you're not going to be able to push him off of that one. And Gray using that time to get a castle up in front of his base here. Not on the hill like he probably would have wanted. But yeah, this is the safer castle. A castle that actually can go up here. Green and Purple having a little personal Persians war. No, actually, it's Magyars. Magyars versus Persians. Now, at least the Persian player can kill his archer army faster than any other Civ, considering he gets that +2 attack versus archers, but now has to fight. Has the hill, though. That is really good, but there is crossbows behind there. Ethiopian crossbows as well, which will do a lot of extra damage here to Green's knights. And yeah, Purple wins that fight hands down, and Green will have to run away from that. And now... Yeah, now green will have to protect his own base here, because they realize that blue is not going to be much of a threat here. That gold is still not really safe. There's still no tower there. Cavalry archers is happily sitting on a hill. Just in every way, Bloodseekers is just losing ground on all sides right now, and there's just little that they can do about it, especially on the right side. There's just not much that you can do about it at this point. Green will have to hold. He will have to hold as good as he can, but that house will go down, and the units will run in. Those are +2 knights. You might have a Persian town center. It doesn't die as fast as normal TCs, but die it will. Die it will. And there's also a lot of villages that can be sniped here, and oh green. Oh green. And his knights weren't here to protect either. And look at this, yellow and red at the same time moving into teal's base. So both the pockets now are getting hit here as well. Which is worse actually than the flanks getting hit. Because at least the flanks with low economy could still make units. If you're a pocket player and you don't have economy, you can't afford knights. Like, there's no way. They're too expensive. 80 food, 60 gold. It's crazy. Oh, I like this though. Yeah, green bringing in his units, trying to snipe away the crossbows. Gets a whole bunch of them as well. But yeah, now purple is in place. We'll clean out those knights. And after that, green has nothing to protect his base. He's even running away with his units now. But where? Why? I mean, running to teal won't save you here either, because teal's base is overrun with enemy marauders as well. And I mean, at this point, it's got to be kind of a GG moment. I mean, it might be a bit of first game jitters as well, you know. You never know how strong your opponent is, how they play, what their strategies are. Unless you, of course, did some research and watch earlier games, which I uploaded all the group stage games to YouTube, so you can definitely do your research now. But yeah, in any case, Bloodseekers does tap out here. They realize that this is not something that they can win anymore. And they will just have to go to their own home map and try to beat a Team Secretito back there. GG! GG! Good stuff. Let's update the scoreboard. Because it is 0-1. Alrighty. Strong performance there for Team Secretito, that's for sure. Like, the early aggression was good, especially on blue's side. Like, blue was never able to get into the game, ever. Now, blue, of course, not helped by the fact that his golds were horrendous. But yeah, that's the moment where you need to realize that. You need to recognize, okay, my golds are awful. Let's just tower, right? When I said tower, that was the moment that a tower would have been absolutely necessary. Because if you know that your opponent has more military than you, then you know you will be pushed off of gold, which will just exacerbate that problem, right? So you drop a tower, and then you're safer. Of course, not, you know, like Gray. Like, Gray at least was able to take gold here for most of the game. Without too much, being impeded too much there. So he at least could get some army out. Makes all the difference in the world, trust me. But yeah, just well played by Team Secretito. What can I say, man? Wait, what? Why are there villagers here? Huh? Dale, why? What? Was this supposed to be like a sneaky castle or a sneaky stable, or what was this? Let's see if we can maybe see the foundation. No. Okay, I'm very confused by these villagers right now. What were they doing? Were you gonna tower all the wood lines? Because that would have been hilarious though if you would have towered all the wood lines for yellow. Been really funny. In any case, let's have a look at these statistics here for just a second. Very nice. Yeah, KD will be better for Team Secretito there. The fights that they took were better, were in their favor, usually with attack advantage, but also just more military on the field as well. And you can tell, especially like Pockets here, not taking the best fights, and also losing a lot of villagers as well. You know, that definitely doesn't help you either. Military count much higher for Team Secretito, since their economies were untouched, so they could get more military out. You know, the economy is going to be much better overall there. You can tell by the vil counts. Yeah, we're overall much better if you compare them. At least, I mean, Orange had a lower vil count, but honestly, does that really matter when you have military control there? Not really, right? Looking at the timeline, yeah. I mean, once it starts to getting into this region, you know that your team is kind of on the losing edge there. Alrighty, well, it was a solid first game. Good to start off the set, but of course, the Bloodseekers will not They, like their name suggests, they seek blood, and they will definitely want to try to strike back here on their home map, which will be either Islandia or Kanagawa. And the map that they go for is Islandia. Okay, well, that will be the first. Let me just check that just to make sure that is actually the second file here. It's in the name, so make sure. Yeah, let's put you that too. All right, righty. Well, if you're ready, I am ready. I am excited for this map, actually, because I really wanted to see it. Let's see what civilizations the players have gone for. Here we go. Alrighty. Welcome to the second game of the match between Bloodseekers and Team Secretito. The latter team leading by 1 point for now, because, of course, Bloodseekers, they do want to strike back on their home map, which is Islandia. Let's talk about that, because as you can notice... Excuse me. Please don't give me the hiccups now. Come on. Like you have noticed already, players start with a nomad start, which means you don't have a town center and you have a bunch of villagers just strung out across the map, kind of not knowing what to do. Now, on a normal nomad map, it's all about fish on the outer rim, right? But not on this nomad version, because there's not that much fish actually. So the fish is actually not important. It's not even worth it really for most civilizations to dock at the start. Really isn't. Instead, what you do, you get your TC up on, instead of wood, you get it up on fish. Like, this is what you would do for normal nomad, like right there. You put it on wood line next to resources. Honestly, on this map, I think you kind of need to approach it more like African clearing, right? It's very similar in the way it plays out, because you have these little ponds with 1,200 food worth of shorefish in there. Really nice if you're Indians, and no surprises here, 2 players actually going for Indians as well. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, for the rest, we have some resources strung out across the map, blah, blah, blah. It plays out as a normal Nomad map, but yeah, the water aspect is just not as important as it is on Nomad, and that's why I prefer this map. Because, you know, I'm not that great of a water player, so, you know. I like a map that nerfs water players, that way it buffs me. You know, reciprocal words. You know what I mean. But yeah, in any case, we're just waiting for people to get their town centers up, and I think most people have that right now. So let's introduce the players. We'll start with the team whose home map this is. In the blue, we have Camilo playing as the Malians. I like that. Cheaper buildings, wood-wise, yo. In the green, we have Panzer playing as the Spanish. Absolutely no one surprised by that one. In the teal, we have Davide Spin playing as the Indians. Very great civ on this map because they gather shorefish so damn fast with the villagers. And then we have Gray here right next to the shoreline that will make farming very nice. But he's Chinese. Another great civ for this map because of the shorefish. It's easy to get that food income and get your vill count rolling and limit your idle time as well. And as a result, Gray does not have a villager lead because why would they, huh? That also comes down to building your town center fast. Depends on how far he walked. I don't know. I didn't check. In any case, let's switch over to the other team. Team Secretito. The Zeus here playing as the Slavs. Very strong farms, that's for sure. Wonder what unit we're going to go for. We might even see Boyars. I would love to see Boyars. They have been recently buffed as well. So let's see how they do then. In the yellow, we have Indians again for Brutal. You know, because it's such a great civ with shorefish. And economy as well. Cheaper vills really helps. In the purple, we have Negan playing as the Spanish. Again, no one's surprised by that. And Tomichiwa here going for Koreans. I love that. And we know what that means, right? That is definitely going to be war wagons. Like, it's just something you can get away with on a map like this. Because the fact that no one knows where you are buys you a bit of time, right? Unless you are, you know, kissing TCs, right? Like this close together. In that case, it's going to be a slogging match between you and your opponent. And that can be fun, but most cases you kind of want to just get away and boom into, you know, your fun units, right? Now, position-wise, I like that both teams kind of coordinating their positions. Like, as you can see, Bloodseekers are very nicely spread out. A bit less of a spread here for Team Secretito, but still on the same side. No player here that is really in a precarious position here. I mean, blue and yellow are definitely gonna have it out here earlier than anyone else. which should benefit the Indian player because he should have a better early game economy with that fish. And yellow also just found out that blue had some buildings here as well. So he's probably going to send a villager around. Should get some loom for that as well. Maybe try to lame something. Maybe scout around a bit more. Or it's just scouting. I don't know what he's doing with that, but that's fine. But yeah, the early game will... considering that the way that the teams are positioned, I think the early game will be peaceful. I think most people will probably boom up, go fast castle. Maybe yellow will go for scouts here because he knows that blue is nearby. That's one thing that kind of puzzles me here, is that neither team decided to draft Vietnamese for this map, right? Why I like Vietnamese on this map is, one, you can go for rattan archers, which are awesome, and two, you know where you're starting, where your opponent's starting TCs are, which is huge on this map. Because you never know where your opponent will be, right? Like, I mean, it's not like Teal, for example, knows, like, if you can look at his scouting, he's actually scouting around. That's really good. Like, if there would have been someone there, he would have known by now. But he doesn't know where anyone is, that's why he's scouting. If you have Vietnamese on your team, that player can tell you, yo, Teal now finding purple before the sheep gets converted as well. So yeah, purple will now know, oh crap, Teal knows where I am. So that's really good scouting from Teal. Let's just compare scouting, actually, just for a second. I want to see what all players know. So yeah, Teal knows that purple is there. Walking Gracie. Gray also scouting with sheep. Look, that's some solid scouting right there. Really good. Instead of just... You don't want to eat your sheep on this map. Like, sheep are there to scout around for you. As Teal just X that is saying... yeah. Dimitri are saying, lots of archers, civs banned, so we saved Vietnamese for another map. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. Yeah, why not, right? As Teal actually found another burger. Yeah, he found yellow as well. Really good. Teal scouting is perfect. Can blue see? Blue not seeing all too much then. What can green see? Green is not going to scout around. He's in the back right. He's in a boom position for his team. Red scouting doesn't see too much either. What about orange? Orange knows there's someone there, but unfortunately didn't get to see what color the buildings was. But they will at least get a sense. That's probably where they are. Yellow also not too much scouting, but he does know that blue is there. So there's that. And then we have purple. Purple, well, he lost his sheep there, but there's actually no one there, I think. So, oh, actually, no, never mind. Teal's there. Yeah. This looks weird. Let's not do Fog of War with Gaia. I've actually watched an entire game where the Fog of War was turned on for Gaia, and it's really weird because you can only see fights if a bird happens to fly by. It's actually really strange to watch it like that. No, in any case, people are going up to the feudalates here, going up, probably for fast castle, but not for yellow. Like I said, I was expecting scouts from him, and there we go. We do have scout, and looks like red also going to go for scouts. So we have some aggressive play here from Team Secretito. Considering that they know where blue is, they probably wanted to go for that, as blue is now towering over here, but there's a scout. Scout isn't feudalates, but there's enough villagers here now. I don't think that tower is going to do all too much. It's not really denying any resources right now. That's just... Blue doesn't really know where yellow's resources are, so hasn't really scouted that yet. As blue should probably wall in his other villagers as well. Yellow now knows the tower is going up, and I don't think yellow's going to care. He's going to be like, that's fine. We'll let that tower go up. That's not denying my wood line or anything. Like, it's not the tower over here, which would never have gone up. Not with this much military on the field already. Yeah, now you got a tower up. Guess that's something. He's continuing to make... He's actually planning on making more towers. He probably knows he's close by the enemy team. So he wants to go a bit YOLO. Instead of booming into his own. I mean, I don't think you would have gotten to boom here anyways. Because your position is not too great for that. So going a bit YOLO is probably the best call here. We'll just keep an eye out on how that's gonna work out. But you should definitely make some spearmen here. Like, you have to get some military in the field, because that's a lot of scouts for yellow and red already. So these villagers are in danger already. Yeah, the spearmen come. Very good. That's good. That's great. Looks like who will get the castle age first? It will be Teal. Great castle age timing. Having Indians definitely helps you. That must have been a nice build order for him as well. Doing it with 20 villagers. That's impressive. Castle age with 20 vills. That must be that fishing bonus for the Indians. And I'd really like to know what build order that is so I can use it myself. Honestly. Great stuff from him there. Because that means he can get to town centers before anyone else and start adding economy. Or, you know, add military as well. You know, why not? Why not? Red kind of scouting around here, trying to find some more villages. But Gray was smart enough to wall in these fishing villas just to make sure that they could not get sniped here. And, oh, don't let him get in. Don't let him get in. Don't let... No! Oh, Gray... Unfortunately, not reacting in time here, and is now going to lose at least 2 villagers there. Precious villagers you do not want to lose with Chinese, of course, because your early economy is kind of fragile. And these villas will be safe, but that was not ideal for Gray. You know, some early scouts already paying off there. It looks like Blue wanted to drop another tower, but it doesn't look like that went up. I think that got denied there. As Blue is sending more villagers now to finish that tower. It's almost done as well, so still 5 scouts though. 5 scouts, 2 spearmen, that's enough. 2 spearmen should be able to keep that out. A 3rd spearman as well. So Yellow's trying to do some damage here and there, but yeah. Purple is on stone. Who is surprised by that? No one. And the only thing is he's not going to this stone then, but well, whatever. There's the Korean player now dropping a castle in the middle of their towns to protect them, and that's going to be war wagons for sure. Let's look at Green. Green is still in feudal age. Is he going to get up soon? Should click up soon. It's not that heavily on stone, though. I wonder if he's going to go for conquistadors then. I mean, Spanish don't have to go for conquistadors, but it is their strongest unit. So it's, you know, it would be weird not to at least make a few conks here and there. Steele's sending in some camels to help out Blue, because Blue, of course, is in a rough spot himself. He's up against opponents, that one of which is already going up the castle age here. Let's see what everyone's going to go for. I mean, it's definitely going to be camels for the Indian player. Like, you're not gonna do elephant archers on this map. It's too big. It's too, you need mobility. That's what you need. So elephant archers not really a great unit for that. Or, you know, honestly, I've only seen one game in which elephant archers actually looked like a great option, and that was in that one Red Bull Wallow game between MBL and Leary. And it was still, even there, it was more funny than appropriate, really. Looks like lots of players just going up the castle stage here. Blue will be the furthest behind because his economy wasn't the best, as he was, you know, it was kind of idling some of his economy. It's even trying to take out his stable here as well, which Yellow has had it with that aggression. He's like, nope, this ends now, and he got himself a castle. Probably was mining that heavily. That will set back his economy, though. He was on stone pretty heavily, so won't be able to spam out a lot of camels, but at least it will keep the front of his base secure. And Blue should probably, you know, smell defeat here and probably just move out. Did he make a militia? He made a militia. And the castle cannot be denied, so these villagers should run home now, if they still can. Might actually be too late now. Run away, run away, run away. Ay. Villagers paying the price here. Only one lives to tell the tale. Nice micro there from Blue. And the villager goes back home and tells the tale of the castle that shouldn't have gone up, but did go up. Now, so far, score lead for Team Secretito again here, as the war wagons is streaming forward as well. Looking at the vill count overall, it's 28 for Blue, 30 for Green, 40 for Teal, 37 for Gray, 36 for Red, 35 for Yellow, 33 for Purple, and 40 for Orange. So overall, quite even between the teams. Like, no one has a clear economy lead. And a Knight for Green. So Knights, instead of Conquistadors here for Green. Green not going to go for the conks here. Instead, it's going to go for economy, which is an approach as well. Conks are expensive. You can't really afford 3 town center production and Conquistadors. That's really difficult, actually. So, this makes sense to me. Malian player now will have to contend with Korean war wagons, a unit that is very difficult to counter anyways, especially when they cost 1 wood when you play random cost mod, huh? Zergwa, if he's in chat. We played that game yesterday, it was fun. Poor Blue. Yeah, Blue is in a rough spot here, and I mean he's in a worse spot than Yellow, I'd say, because Yellow has Red close by, whereas Blue's kind of isolated from his team. So he probably knows that he will have to be the living punching bag for his team, and the villagers on the stone being affected here as well. We'll have to run away from this now. Yeah, Blue will just have to defend himself with some pikemen for now, which will still die to the Korean war wagons, but I think Bloodseekers team, they will have to come to Blue's aid here and keep him alive as long as possible. And Blue should start to think about maybe sending a few villagers here, build a town center back here, so you have, or even in the back here, so you have some safe economy to boom while you are defending on the front, right? Like, you don't want to just defend here to eternity and just lose villagers, as he's going to drop a castle in the back of his base. That will definitely stop the pressure as well, and stop it from going further than this. But yeah, a nice bit of terrain that will be won here by Team Secretito if they push through. It's going to come down though to who has the best economy, because the game on this map often goes late. It often goes to late game. Like, we are not there, not even close to the end here for sure. Even though Blue is falling behind a little bit here, especially in Vil count. Only 30 Vils for him, and you can see the Vil counts steadily climbing now for both teams here. That's why I'm saying send some villagers to the back so you can make some safe economy. That's what I'm saying. Right, that's why. Now, Gray not making any military so far. He's built a castle though, so is that going to be Chukunu then? Or what are we going to go for? Because with Chinese, you never know. They can go for anything. So, like, open tech tree, lots of options. For now though, he's just adding villagers from 2 town centers. Could even add a third one in a sec. Actually adding a castle first, so... I mean, that might be for protection. Chinese kind of need that protection, right? But I'm kind of smelling Chukunu at this point. As, ooh... Thought we didn't know. Thought we wouldn't notice there, huh? Forgot double bid X. It happens. It happens, man. It happens. Especially when you go fast castle, you normally skip that upgrade, right? Because you can't afford it, and then you get it while you go up the castle age. But of course, it's easy to forget it at that point. What's going on the other side? Conquistadors are raiding Teal's base here, and Teal will have to run away from the stone, and that's a bunch of villagers dead. A really nice job there for Purple. It's so nice to raid with Conquistadors because their inaccuracy actually helps them here. Because you can actually hit villagers more easily. Because they have such a high damage damage output. If one hit hits, it hits hard. So you don't need all these conquistadors to hit. And most of them don't, because their accuracy is not 100%. But it helps them snipe villagers that are trying to run away from them. Yeah, that's good. Well, Blue is now abandoned the front of his base, you know, they will know that as well, so they're happily just taking it out, gaining some more map control, but this castle should stop that aggression from going forward. It's going to be down to Teal and Green now to hold the front, as Blue tries to reboom in the back of their base. You know, that's kind of what he's supposed to be doing here, but Teal, I'm not sure where his army is right now. Oh, it's right there. And okay, he's sending it back now. He saw the knights from Red. Red now attacking the front of Teal's base. So Teal will have to send some army to deal with that. As Purple runs back home as well. Conquistadors are sick, yo. Now camels, let's see. Don't have too many upgrades. More upgrades on these Slavic knights. So the Slav knights should do fairly well here against the camels. But they're still camels, so yeah, it makes sense in the red. Probably a bit hesitant about going forward, and actually came forward some villages as well. Was that going to be a forward castle? I would say. You might still think about it, although a lot of villages have gone down here. But now, taking the fight with the help of the Korean war wagons, this is the moment that Teal will want to run away from this, because those babies have 11 attack, ranged attack, something that camels are pretty bad at dealing with, even Indian camels. As, Purple now dropping a forward castle on Teal as well, prompting Teal to drop a castle of his own here. You know, so we have a bit of a castle war in a second here. The castle will go up, but yeah, lots of conquistador numbers already. There's so much more military so far for Team Secretito. So much more military, and it's gonna be very difficult for Bloodseekers. They need to get some sort of a push going somewhere, because right now they're just trying to react everywhere, but it is Team Secretito who are directing this game, who have all the control for now. As red now with the military control is going to drop that castle anyways then, huh? Yep, there it goes. Nice castle too, denying his gold, this wood line, kind of ranging the stable and the barracks as well, and maybe even the fish. So, I like it. And, okay, blue doing what I suggested there. You know, getting a town center up in the back of the map so he can at least boom a little bit safely. He will be behind for a while, though, so like, he can't really help right now, except with pikemen, so I like that. That's good. Oh, as Gray gets a castle denied at, you know, over here. Gray is on the way to Imperial Age. He's been booming like no other here. He's on 96 villagers, 102 vills for green. So they have really strong economies. Something that cannot be said so much for Team Secretito, who have made a lot more military. So they had to invest in that first before trying to go for... What happened over here? Looks like Teal tried to fight this and deny this castle, and I think he did deny it for a while, but Red will get that up now. And the worst part is that this castle is close to being denied, and Gray wants to get it up, has some villagers there, but and then you have a lot of vills, but gonna lose a few there. Going to lose a few there. That sucks for Gray. That castle will not go up for a while now, as Gray is making knights so far. Okay, so it's Chinese knights. Well, they do get Cavalier, they don't get Paladin. That would be crazy after all. As ooh, nice fight there for blue, clearing out a lot of the camels here for yellow. I don't think yellow was thinking about taking the fight. He's just not paying attention to this right now. Yeah, now he realized that it's gonna run away. But yeah, losing a bunch of camels there. That's good for blue. Very nice. Pikemen do good against camels after all. Reason for that being that camels don't have a lot of attack. They don't kill pikemen fast. This Gray should delete this castle now. Delete the castle. And he didn't delete the castle. Lost a bunch of stone, at least 300 stone, I'd say. Considering how much that castle was built. So, yeah, that's nice for purple. And look at the conquistador numbers, man. How many is that? That's 27 conquistadors. And those are dangerous. Because they kill camels so fast now. They can just run away, shoot, run away, shoot, run away, shoot, you know. Kiting. Gray's an imp, and so will green be, although red will be an Imperial Age as well with Slavs. I wonder if we're going to go for boyars at this point, and not just knights. I would love to see boyars, honestly. Although I understand, you know, it's a tricky unit to go for. Would do pretty well against camels, maybe. As green is trying to get a castle up in the back of his base, you know, to try to protect his economy a bit more. Probably not where he wanted that castle. I would have placed it somewhere over here. Ideally, right, to close up this gap. But, yeah, with this many Korean war wagons, it was hard to deal with that. War wagons will still have to run away from the pikey boys, though, because they do bonus damage after all. Gray's trying to get around the conquistadors here to try to do damage to them as well. Conquistadors are just tanky units, man. 75 HP, 4 pierce armor, and melee armor. Like a knight, actually. And then 16 base attack, which is crazy. A nice micro there for purple. Did lose a few conquistadors in those battles, though, so there's that, but still. As the teal on the same time has to defend himself from red on the other side, who now is an Imperial Age and can get Cavalier. But again, no Paladin for the Slav player, which is why a lot of players switch into Siege and Infantry at that point, because that is the best unit composition that Slavs have to offer if you don't go for Boyars for this. The Rachina Infantry, man. I have actually still not seen it in any competitive game. It's a really expensive upgrade, but man... Oh, actually, we did see it. We did see it. I lied. It was a 3-hour game that one player, the Slav player, did get the Rushina. Which was kind of cool. Because you never get to see that because it's so expensive. As, ooh, blue. Blue's thinking about encircling orange, but orange actually realized that and he's not going to let that happen. He was thinking about coming in from the back and trapping this army here. Which would have been really cool. Which would have been really good for blue as well, but yeah, Tomichiwa, not going to let that happen. The position is really nice here, and also purple on the way to Imperial Age will be able to make some trebuchets from his castles, and so will red, right? Red actually making siege right now, cheap siege to deal with the pikemen. I like that. And Teal, not an Imperial Age. He's trying to get up to Imperial Age. He's idling his... Well, he's idling his town centers for now, that is. But doesn't quite have the food yet to click up here. So it's gonna be tricky. Especially now that Purple is in the next stage. And Purple will just immediately drop a few traps. Yep, there you go. Again, a game in which Team Secretito with a lot of aggression there got a great position. Like they didn't have that much map control at first, but now they have half the map there, if not more, pushing Bloodseekers further and further away from the front. And Bloodseekers, they'll have to find an answer here to this soon, because otherwise they're going to lose too much ground, too much economy, and then at that point it's just going to be unstoppable at that point. It's great, again, losing a bunch of Cavalier that have upgrades, but yeah, it's just not the strongest unit that Chinese can make. And I understand that going for Chukunu is difficult because it is, you know, it's not a mobile unit. But, you know, at least it is a more powerful unit than Chinese Cavalier, that's for sure. And Steel wants to get this castle up, needs to get this castle up, even though, I mean, trebuchets are coming out here in a second. As Grey and Teal are taking a fight here, the Camels cleaning up a bit of the red Cavaliers, but the thing is, these are still Cavaliers. They have, though they lack Imperial Age upgrades, they still do really well here, and the castle will get denied, and Teal does not get that castle up. And even if it had gone up, it would have just gone down to this trebuchet. And Purple still surviving with a lot of his conquistadors. And this is problematic for Teal as well, because now the left side of his base is completely open to enemy raids. And now even Green has to show up here to deal with these raids from Red and Purple, which means that there's not that much army on the right side. It's really just Blue defending with a whole body of Malian pikemen, which do really well against ranged units, by the way. 5 pierce armor for those already. If he gets to Imperial... Hey, I actually did get to Imperial Age. Yeah, 5 pierce armor. It's crazy, isn't it? And after plate mail armor here, it will be even more. It will be 7 pierce armor, huh? I can't believe Teal hasn't deleted that yet. That's definitely going to go down. Oh, but nice from Grey there, sniping a whole bunch of Scorpions. That's, I mean, despite it being Slavs who have cheaper siege, right? It's still expensive and troublesome to make them. And I'm actually not sure why these siege units are being moved to this side of the map. Why aren't we using those Scorpions against the pikemen? Which is what I thought they would be used for, right? Like, all these pikemen would die to Scorpions really easily. I thought we used some siege here to kill the pikemen so that the Korean war wagons can then run into your opponent's town here. But, okay, well, it's something else for them then. Especially because it's camels and cavalry here, which do well against Scorpions, right? And Scorpions do not well against them, so, I don't know. It's such a hard composition to stop, man. Elite Conquistador with all their upgrades, 18 attack, 5 melee armor, 6 pierce armor. It's just so difficult. They kill so much so quickly. On the right side as well, Paladins now for Green. He's trying to keep this castle up as good as he can. Paladins, they are fully upgraded for Spanish, but they are just Paladins. They're up against a whole bunch of war wagons. These are going to be elite soon, I suppose. As soon as Tamichiwa gets that upgrade. The castle for Yellow does go down finally, but... oh, but the pikemen running in here. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Killing a bunch of war wagons, but Orange did get away there. Again, they have 7 pierce armor. 7. Like the crossbows do 1 damage to these. Look how tanky these pikemen are. That's crazy. Against freaking crossbows, man. Malian infantry is actually, like, to me, it's the most favorite infantry on the map, because it actually... Like, yes, Goths have the easy infantry spam. Yes, Burmese have that extra attack. Yes, Japanese infantry fights faster. Yes, Vikings have more HP. But the biggest weakness for infantry has been their pierce armor. It's always been fighting against ranged units. And the Malian champ scarls or champ pikemen, the pikemen scarls, I guess so. They counter that weakness by having a lot of pierce armor, which is why they're my favorite infantry unit to use. Like, I love going champ skulls with Malians. It's awesome. Yeah, and Grey and Teal, they're trying their best. They're trying their best to hold this on, but it's so difficult to fight this with camels. Because camels, they lack armor. They just lack armor, and that's exactly what you need against Conquistadors because their damage output is so high. Now, if you can get close with camels, they kill Conquistadors significantly faster than knights, but that's the problem. You don't often get to get close to them. As teal and grey are starting to lose the front of their base, and it's starting to look a bit hazy here. And I'm not seeing green and blue push on the right side as well. It's just a difficult situation once more. And green does not have a giant ball of conquistadors here. You just have Paladin holding the front for now. But that's the thing. You're holding the front line. You're losing the front line on the left. Oh, but we actually missed a fight there. Green is encircling the conquistadors, cleaning all of them up there. What a move from green there. From gray there, I mean. Wow, I was wondering if he was going to do that with the camels on that side, but he does it. And that is a lot of conquistadors down the drain. Completely stalling out the pressure there from purple on the left side, and purple have to retreat. Well, and red will have to retreat here. Very interesting. It's going to take a while for purple to get his numbers up again, because conquistadors, they are expensive units as well, and gray is making a lot of camels here. And actually, he should just continue withering down these numbers. Don't let him get this castle up. Don't let him build his numbers again. Force him to keep running away here. That's a lot of heavy camels there. Yeah, purple have to run away from this now. Here comes the Slav player, but the Slav player is still lacking the final armor upgrade. He's actually getting it now, but behind the attack upgrade. So these Cavalier are not fully upgraded, and they're dying really quickly there. What is happening right now? Team Secretito completely losing the momentum on the left side here after that fight. As purple continues to lose conquistadors, and this is the moment where teal and gray need to come forward with some siege of their own. Need to come forward to some siege of their own and continue this push. On the other side here, the war wagons and the crossbows, they are holding, but they're not pushing. And I'm also confused why the Indian player decided to go for not go for camels, but instead for crossbows, since or cavalry archers or something like that. You know, a unit that is stronger than crossbow. Because I don't think, do Indians get arbalest? I don't think so. Otherwise, yellow would have gotten that upgrade by now. You're dealing with crossbows against Paladin, and look how many crossbows have gone down there. No push for Team Secretito on the left as well. Is this the moment where the switch comes in, as the Indian camels are wrecking buildings together with the Chinese camels? And that's the thing with conquistadors. Like any ranged unit, it is all about mass. You lose your mass, and then, well, you know, this happens. You suddenly can't defend yourself easily. Aye. As yeah, purple now trying to defend himself, but now you don't have 40 conquistadors. You don't have any mass in front. I still question the choice from the Slav player to continue with non-fully upgraded Cavalier and Siege on the left side. Like now he's switching into Pikeman, but is it too late? Is it too late? As purple is now losing economy on the left side as well. On the right side, lots of Pikemen, some Malian camels as well with the Farimba tag. I love Farimba camels. That's actually the best upgrade for camels that there is, really. 14 attack camels. It immediately counters their weakness, which was low attack, right? Now they have high attack. They can actually kill buildings and villagers and things like that. It's even more important than getting Cavalier with Farimba. As now blue and green pushing back the front here. Is this the moment where Team Secretito is actually going to lose control of this game? As, ooh, a sneaky raid there from red. A raid that has not been spotted yet by Bloodseekers, but I did notice that. Well, it's a red dot moving across the map. That is not too hard to see. As now Gray, he's going to respond to this. He'll have to respond sometime here, because that can still be deadly here. Let's see how long it takes them to react to this, because right now all the military is going forward, running into the front lines here for purple, and purple is being pushed back into his base, and they call it GG. What a comeback from Bloodseekers! From the position that they were in after this giant fight that we only saw the half of, where the conquistadors went down, the entire momentum for purple and red completely stalled, and they called it GG. What a fantastic match, you guys. Wow. I honestly thought that this was going to go the same way as the first game. It was not looking good for Bloodseekers, but they held on the right. They were holding the right and waiting for the right moment to strike on the left, when Gray, with the camels that he had, a lot of them, encircled Purple's army and completely annihilated it. And without Purple's Conquistador balls, suddenly it was double Camel against Cavalier on this side, and Purple and Red were unable to hold this pressure. And they realized they were going to lose a lot of economy here. Purple was down to how many vills? 23. Look at that. Wow, he lost a lot of economy in that raid. I don't think he had too much villagers anyways, because that's Conquistadors for you. And then there was not a lot of protection on this side. Like a lot of the castles were forward. What a play. Yeah, this was really good. Really good. I mean, well played by both teams, but what a comeback there for Bloodseekers to close it out on their home map. And we will go to a third game, which we already knew because it's a best of 5. Of course we're going to go to a third game. But that is not going to be the last game now. That we do know. So, boy oh boy, do we have a set for you today. I mean, I am expecting no less than just like insane matches between teams that are very strong, that are evenly matched, because in the semifinals that is what you're expecting, right? That the best teams make it to the end, so we get the most exciting finals ever. Really good stuff, you guys. Let's have a look at the statistics, shall we? At the KD there. Great KD for Grey there. And yeah, the MVP tag definitely deserved there. That fight, that was instrumental to their victory. Had they not won there, then Purple would have just pushed right into Grey's base, you know, and that would have been a disaster there. But yeah. And hi Princess Mauricio. Hi Mauricio, how you doing, man? Tomichiwa says, what a throw. Yeah, throw. I mean, you guys definitely had the lead. That's true. But and then yeah, it's just that one big fight there, for that Purple unfortunately ended up losing. I guess yeah, you could call that a throw. But yeah, you guys played really well, both of you. So that was awesome. That's what makes me exciting, man. That makes me excited, man. That's the word there. Looking at the economy, very great economy there for green. In the end, Paladins working out pretty well for them on that side. Definitely helped them push through. I'm not sure about the crossbow pick for the Indian player for yellow. I don't think that was really the power unit that they needed there. Going camels themselves would have been better in the end. I know you're up against a lot of pikemen, Malian pikemen, which are difficult to kill. But then again, then why are we using crossbows, right? Because crossbows do 1 damage versus those pikemen. I'd rather have camels then, right? Or cavalry archers, or even infantry, something. I mean, anything. Your Koreans actually get fully upgraded infantry, I think. They might miss an upgrade here or there, but yeah, in any case, just great game all around. Have a look at society here. Wow, a villager high for green there. 182 villagers? Are you insane? My god. What was this? A 500 population game? In that case, it would have been an underbroom. He probably deleted some villas after that. Well, that definitely got his economy rolling, that's for sure. And Grey going up to 143, 168 there for orange. That is a lot of an overboom as well. But 134 for yellow. Honestly, I'd rather have too many villages than too few. I think we can all agree to that. Yeah, that's a great vill count as well. That meant at some point he couldn't have had more than 24 military on the field, which is insane. Yeah, looking at the timeline, let me just look at that. Look, like it was still even, but the position for Team Secretito at this point was so much better than it was for Bloodseekers. You know, they were pushing on one side, holding the front on the other, and then that fight. This fight right there. Look, it swung that match immediately in the favor of Bloodseekers. What a match, you guys. Alrighty. I'm excited for the next match then, which will be on the home map for Bloodseekers, of course, which will be Ciudad Fantasma. Ooh, a more standard meta map on which Team Secretito have proven to be strong. So this is going to be a challenge for Bloodseekers. Who's going to win this? Because this is going to be a very important match right here. Because whoever wins this game has a good shot at winning this series. Because, you know, they will be 1 point ahead. It's a match point for them after that. So this is gonna might be a deciding game already. So let's get into this without further ado. Third game. Let's go. And boom, here we go. Welcome to the third game in the semifinals. The awesome semifinals already between Bloodseekers and Team Secretito. It's 1-1. And I would expect no less from teams that are so evenly matched and both are really strong. Let's introduce the players of the team whose home map this is. So that would be Team Secretito in the even colors. In the red, we have the Zeus playing as the Bohemians. Love it. In the green, yellow, not green, yellow. We have Brutal playing as the Lithuanians. Interesting. In the purple, we have Negan playing as the Teutons. I like that. Then in the orange, we have Tomichiwa playing as the Japanese. Oh, that's cool. It's kind of like Konnichiwa, and then he's playing Yeah, you get the drill. You get the drill. In the blue, we have Isis Ragnar playing as the Vietnamese. Interesting. Then we have Davide Spin playing as the Magyars. We have Panzer playing as the Teutons. You know, the Civ, the most heavily armored Civ in the game, played by a Panzer. You know, that's a reference to the Panzer tank, of course. You know, heavily armored units as well. So I kind of like this. Teutons are the tanks of Age of Empires, kind of. You know, if you forget about war wagons and Hussite wagons, that is. I guess the latter really are the tanks of Age of Empires, but they're not as cool as Teuton Paladins. Ooh. And lastly, we have Camilo playing as the Koreans in the gray. Alrighty, perfect. So, ooh, that's interesting. I wonder, do you think they're gonna go for their unique units, both of them? Because that would be hilarious to me. Maybe they could like be chatting here right now, like, okay, let's make a deal. We both go for our unique unit. Let's see who wins that. That is not a deal that Grey should take, because Hussite wagons will definitely win against war wagons because they have way more pierce armor. Although war wagons have more attack, so who would win that? We gotta ask Mike Empires to make that video for us. Someone go and ask him. Make a video for 100 Korean war wagons versus 100 Hussite wagons, and who will win that? I'd like to see that. You know, those are actually fun videos, though. Remember when Age of Empires YouTube was all about that? Just people pitting large numbers of units, different units against one another and see who wins. Like 100 militia versus 3 cataphracts. That was like a recent video. That's just good old fun. That's what you did as a kid in the scenario editor as well. Unless, of course, you were already 20 when this game came out, then you weren't a kid. But I can imagine this game made you feel young anyways. I'm just saying that's what I used to do in the scenario editor. That was a lot of fun, actually. Alright, but without me rambling about that sort of stuff, let's talk about, resources. On a game, in a map like this that is so close to Patagonia, I think it's worth it to talk about the map. Although I first want to talk about this giant square in the middle of the map that you might have had some questions about. That would be the titular Ciudad Fantasma. That is the ghost city. And yes, there is some ghosts here and there. Let's see if we can find one. And there we have one. And I really think they should rename this Ghost, because it's just funny to me. But yeah, these are the spooks that roam around this abandoned city. Will attack your units, but it's just militia, so, you know, it's not that much of a threat. And, ooh, that is sinister. Look at the gallows there, right there. Ooh. Not really a town we want to live in, do we? Anyways, there is some nice parks, I guess you would call them. There's also a nice statue in there, but there's some extra gold, some berries. There's always 4 of those tiles in the city that you could expand to. You can take these. I don't think that's early game stuff, though. That's more like for the late game if you run out of gold at your own base. But you also have this weird circle in the corner. There will be one in all 4 corners here. As you can see, you can go through that and get access of the 2 relics that is in each corner and a free Fatoria that you can convert and it will become yours. Also costs 20 population space, just so you know. Considering we had an instance where a player got housed, right? At the moment he converted that Fatoria, and it was right in the middle of a battle. He was supposed to make more units to reinforce, and he couldn't because, well, he had 20 units over his house population. So, you know, gotta be careful with that. Now, this is a map that you could team wall. In most cases, players start close by enough. It's quite the investment to do so, of course, but team walls are always worth it, in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned. Now, Blue has 2 forward golds here. He's walling towards one of these golds, and let's hope that it's going to go better than the first game for them. Now, has a back gold as well, so this time has a gold to fall back on. Orange, similar gold here, has a forward gold and another gold forward as well. And also a gold here in the back to fall back on, so that's good. At least that is rather equal between the 2 players. A forward gold for red. Might not be the gold he's going to go for. Nope, he's going to go for his back gold. Wants to keep his gold safe there. Especially when you're Bohemians, right? You need some time to get your economy rolling because it's not the best. Especially not before feudal age. And nobody is chopping the corners. Yeah, I mean, that says Mauricio. Yeah, I mean, you can already start doing that in Dark Age, but I guess that's not a priority for them right now. I mean, you can't get the relics anyways until Gaslight. And is it worth it to get a Fatoria before then as well? I wonder. I can imagine it's good, right? Like if you've ever played Aftermath, you know how strong it is to have the trade workshops. As TL wants to snipe a Vil, but that Vil has Loom, and this Scout will have to run away. And ooh, there's a hole, and now Teal very kindly telling Red that, yo, you've got a hole right there, because I don't think Red noticed that, and now he did notice that, so you will be very happy to catch that now instead of later. Unless for Gray, we didn't really talk about him. Has a forward goal outside of his walls, but his main goal is right here behind the walls. Look at that. He learned his lesson from the first game, realized that is not something that I like. I'm going to be extra secure here. He's even double walling his walls right now. He really wants to be secure here. Maybe it makes sense to me. He's up to feudal age quite late as well. Is this a... It's not a fast castle attempt. It's just archers, I'd say. Or is it? Nah, it's not fast castle. Doesn't have the food for that. He's making a lot of farms though, so... Going on the other side. Ooh, we do have a... what would be men-at-arms in a second here from Orange there. He's Japanese. Japanese men-at-arms are super, super, super dangerous. And Mauricio says free Victoria is a huge advantage. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, you do have to build like 4 houses for it. But I guess having that resource trickle definitely does help you. Especially having some free gold here and there as well. Now, Japanese men-at-arms, they attack faster. So they will break through your palisade walls much quicker than any other civilization. And... yeah. Oh wait, I'm supposed to talk about that as well. So yeah, you kind of have to either wall behind or really quickly have your military up, as the archer range gets denied for now. 2 archer ranges is kind of instrumental if you want to get your archer production up. As the archer for blue does go down, but green makes short work here of the men-at-arms. Of course, having Magyar Scout with the extra attack definitely helping you out here. And purple is just going to run away from this for now. Very nice. On the other side, Teal just keeping some scouts to protect Gray for now. Gray not making archers, so he wants to go straight up the castle age, like making farms first, no archery range. Yeah, that is again a bit of a greedy economy play. And actually, yeah, maybe getting a Victoria if you're gonna do something like that would be a good idea. Although I think it takes a while before you can actually chop through the wood line there. Unless you precisely chop, like you actually micro villagers, like you could shift click trees and then have them chop through the middle. Maybe that would be the fastest way to do it, but I don't know. I've actually not played this map myself a lot, so for now, red and yellow keeping their armies, or at least yellow is keeping his army at home. Red doesn't have too many archers out. Oh no, there they are. They're denying a woodline. Actually got a villager as well. Very nice snipe there for red. But he does see the double house wall right here, or the double palisade wall, I mean, right here. So he probably realizes, okay, that's not really a good place for me to break in. On the other side though, green with his aggressive Magyar scouts breaking into orange's base here. Looking to do some counter damage, something they weren't really able to do in the first game. Let's see how that's going to go. As blue follows us up with some archers as well. That's good. No fletching on those just yet, but he's getting the upgrade. Very nice. Yeah, so far we have a better position here for blue and green on this side. It's defensive, defending time for orange and purple. But on the other side, it is yellow and red who are trying to break into Gray's base. And Gray, because he didn't make any army, has nothing to defend himself but walls. If the walls fall, Gray is very much screwed. So let's see. Gray also, yeah, I'm never really convinced by the greedy economy approach, especially not in team games. It's just too easy to punish it. Especially since Teal now loses his scouts, and now Grey is completely unprotected. Actually, he's going to make some skirmishes, which will delay his castle age. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Red actually clicks up before Grey here. Like, this happened the first game. This might happen the second game as well. So we'll see. He is really protected, though. Like, lots of fortifications. Everything is double walls. So it's not like Red and Yellow can easily break in. But they could always decide to go to Teal. On the other side here, we had a little fight between Blue and Orange, and it looks like... Who's winning that? I guess Orange is now going to win that because he can reinforce easily. And thank you for the follow there, Alaginkis, if I'm pronouncing that correctly there. Really appreciate that. Archers for Blue has gone down. You know, I guess Orange will be happy with that, but still having Magyar scouts in your base, never an encouraging sight. But yeah, Green can't really do damage right now. This is walled in. The rest of the base for Orange and Purple is protected, so I guess I'll just try to find a villager somehow. Maybe find a hole in Purple's base, which I don't think there is. Now, I'm not seeing any holes here, so... Yeah, Red and Yellow, they were like, okay, fine. So Grey is going to wall up, right? It's going to wall up completely. In that case, we will just go to Teal. And Grey does click up the first to castellates here, so way before Red. So at least there's that, right? Normally the flank player, because you are not investing as much in food economy as the pockets would, they click up later to castellates than, you know, than anyone else. But Grey is now significantly ahead to Red, but doesn't have a lot of army, so... Teal now realizing, oh, wait, now they're coming to my base, but that's not... Wait, that's not fair. That's not the rule of the game. That's not allowed. Unfortunately, it is totally allowed, and it's actually the correct move as well, as he did get a tower up over here, but I think the army... Yeah, that will stop the archers from getting in further into this base, so Red and Yellow will not be able to do a lot of damage here, but we might get a similar situation where Red and Yellow just never leave Teal's base, and then Teal's just stuck defending here, trying to get up to castellates himself. He's definitely going to get delayed here. Like, Yellow is already in castellates, and Teal hasn't even clicked up yet, nor does he have the food for it either, so... Like I said, that's why I'm not convinced by the greedy approach, right? This is too... Like, stuff like this easily happens to you when you try to do that. And worse still is if Teal doesn't have army near the bottom of the foot of his tower, Yellow could definitely just run right underneath that. Especially if he's going to get armor in a second. Right underneath that and just kill the tower. Like, there's nothing stopping him from doing that beyond the few scouts that Teal has here, so... And remember, these scouts cannot be upgraded because you're Teutons. They don't get light cav. There's nothing light about any of the Teuton units. They're all heavyweight, man. Green still hanging around Orange's base, but wasn't able to really do any damage. They're actually losing a few scouts here. Decides to take the fight because why not, right? You should have the better scouts. Although in this case, not so much. Not so much because Purple has the same upgrades. Actually has a bit better upgrades now that Purple is in castellates. Has that extra melee armor and actually ends up winning that fight. Jesus Christ. Look at that. That's good for Purple. Yeah. Good defense for now. As Teal still... You know, parrying with his army, like Yellow and Red, they're just looking for damage right now. Grey did make it up the castellates. He is producing from 3 archer range right now. He's going to get his army count up fast here. The problem is now it's just Grey. Teal doesn't have the economy right now to go up the castellates and then make knights. It's going to take way long before that happens. So now Grey is on his own, and this is why I'm never convinced so much by the greedy economy play, because it often comes at the cost of sacrificing either your economy or your pocket's economy, and then you might get the castellates, but then you're still on your own. And as the flank, it's hard to push by yourself, you know, when you're up against knights and crossbows. And Red will have crossbows, and there will be knights with +2 armor soon, I assume. And all this time, Teal's still not done dealing with this freaking archer army. I mean, Teal should definitely try to get up the castellates here. He is very close, so cancel one of those villagers and click up here. Yeah. No, cancel the vill. Cancel the vill. Click up. Okay, no hurry for him then. And like you can see, like ask yourself, what did the castellates upgrade do for Grey for now? Not really a lot, right? Not too much. I mean, he can definitely win this fight because he has the numbers there, but he can't push. He's not doing damage to red right now, and he's at risk of losing his army again because yellow is waiting for this. He's getting his +2 armor upgrade. He's waiting to pounce on this. That's a lot of knights as well. Some of these are skirmishes in there as well. Now red bringing more crossbows from behind. And look at this. Gray can't fight. He can't. He's on his own. He needs knights to be in front here. But teal's not in Castle Age. A good micro from Gray though, to micro away from this. Trying to keep his archers alive as good as he can. But he'll just have to retreat right back into his base here. And we're back to where we were before. Except now teal can't help you and come and save you. Sits in a nice choke point, but yeah, there's just not much. He can't push out, so in the end, what did Castle Age give you? Not too much here. On the other side, we have an engagement now between the other side here. More army for both sides here, but more archers for blue. That's pretty good here. But purple is winning the knight fight so far because he has extra melee armor, which definitely helps him a lot here. So yeah, blue will definitely have to be careful, not get too close to these knights. They do have +2. But yeah, there's not a lot of them, so yeah, still sniping them with his crossbows. Very nice micro there from blue. Microing away from the crossbows as well, so he doesn't take as much damage. And now orange and purple, in the end, will still have to back up here. And blue will have to wait until the knights from green get here again, which don't have +2 yet. Should probably get that upgrade. Teal makes it to Castle Age. He's going to drop 3 stables. He's going to go heavily into knight production then. Not a lot of economy. It's going to be mostly knights for now. And it's actually sending villagers forward, or just a house wall maybe. Well, Gray for now, he's holding, but yeah, I mean, in the end, we still end up where we were before, a stalemate, except, you know, red and yellow will have, yellow especially will have a way better economy than teal, because you know that teal's not in Castle Age, you know you don't really have to make a lot of knights to support your buddy. So you can add town centers, you can add economy as well, something that teal can't really do now. He has to go all in here. And that's at least what the plan is, I think, for now. It does add a town center, I like that. Not completely all in then, but gotta do something. On the other side, blue and green, though, pushing the pressure from orange and purple back into orange's base. Orange will now have to defend himself against Vietnamese crossbows there, using Japanese crossbows, which unfortunately have nothing special to them. The Vietnamese crossbows have more HP, which does help him survive a bit more hits from knights as well. And orange a bit on the back foot here. Orange a bit on the back foot, but gray also still stuck in his own base. But red, red not engaging with all his crossbows here. So yellow is losing a bunch of knights there. Gray, you're making good use of that choke point here. It's so difficult to get through here. I really like how this looks. It looks really cool, right? Like actual medieval fortifications there. As green losing a bunch of knights here under the town center. Still no +2 on those knights. He's getting that upgrade now, probably as he saw how fast his knights died under the town center. Probably the good idea. Orange being pushed off for gold here is probably a big deal, but he has some gold to fall back on. Blue's just looking for some damage here. Purple and orange will just have to stall and stall. And hope that red and yellow can get a push in. We kind of have a little stalemate. I mean, in the end, this game ended up evening out a little bit here. As we get to the early rushing phase, as teal trying to find a way into yellow and red base, but they have team walled together, so there's not much damage that can be done. Nope, no way in. A Lithuanian player will make short work of that. And also, Lithuanian player is well on his way to cutting through the wood line here, because he wants the relics and he wants the Faitoria, I'm sure. But yeah, great position now for blue and green. Like, they are the one, breaking into orange's base. Orange is now the one suffering damage from that. So that's really good. Nice position. Something they did not have in the first game, right? They did not have a nice position anywhere on the map. And this time, at least, if gray loses position to red and yellow, which he hasn't so far, it will be a revolving door game. Or, like a base trade of a game, I guess. I mean, the only weak link here is teal, who doesn't have a lot of economy. Like, he's definitely a bit behind in Vil count, 54 to compare that to 78 for purple and 67 for the yellow. You know, there's definitely, that is the weak spot here. And losing all his knights here as well definitely doesn't help. Ooh, and now it's gonna get difficult for gray, because red wisely adding in some siege, knowing there's not a lot of cavalry on the field for teal right now. As nice deck around there for for red, and now gray. Don't sit in the choke point. Don't do it. You cannot sit in this choke point anymore. There's no way now. This Mangonel will push that away, and gray wisely running away from that because he realizes that is not a thing. And instead, teal's gonna try to throw his knights at this. As yellow gets in front. Teal tries to get to the Mangonel. Can't get to the Mangonel. Gets the Mangonel. Nice. Okay, the knights do get to snipe. But they will have to give their lives here because gray is like, yeah, you're not letting that horde into my base, mate. You're not letting that in. Lock the gate, keeping gray out. As green and blue besieging the town center now from orange. Orange will lose that town center, will have to retreat into his own base, add his own siege as well, to defend himself against the Mangonels. But yeah, this is a difficult position to be in, and my god, that is a lot of archers here from the Vietnamese player. Completely different situation that was the first game. It's all gonna come down who dies faster here. And right now, orange is dying faster than gray. Much faster than gray. As purple now taking a fight on his own. Orange does not have a lot of military to help here right now. So, but purple with the Teuton melee bonus does really well in this fight. But should in the end still lose here because of the reinforcements from green. But because of the archers that are still here from blue. Can snipe the siege here though. It's actually orange who's fighting with villagers to snipe the siege. Yeah, the Mangonels will go down. That will slow down the push for now for blue, but blue's going up the imp as well. And it's going to get increasingly more dangerous here for orange. Gray trying to defend here with siege, but yellow breaking through the walls here will be able to break in now. And finally, we'll get a nice position on gray as well. Because again, like I said, orange was dying faster than gray. 43 vills for orange, 60 still for gray. But now, all hell is breaking loose here as we have chemistry crossbows as well from the Bohemian player, which will do very well against the few knights that the Mongol player has, and will continue to do so. Oh, it's not Mongols, just Teutons, never mind. We'll do very well against this because they do extra damage. Look how fast the knights die to this. Really good. Yeah, yellow should still get in front of this though. Yeah, red losing a bunch of crossbows there, but right now, this is the moment where teal and gray finally lose control over the right side here as gray's army finally goes down. He's trying to make more, but yeah, that's a lot of Lithuanian knights in your base. Lithuanian player, did he get through the wood line? Nope, he's still chopping his way through. Still needs to get the relics for some extra attack. You need to get at least 2 nowadays because they took blast furnace away from us. Which is just fantastic. As purple is throwing all he has at this. He is not going Imperial Age anytime soon. He's making so many knights. 7 stables that he's producing this from right now. They know they have to take the fight here before the upgrades come in from blue. But the upgrades just about to come in. That's Arbalest now with Bracer, and purple has to run away from this fast. Because the knights will get shredded right now. Absolutely shredded by the Arbalest. As blue brings forward some villagers, maybe for a forward castle here as well. And orange and purple fast losing control now. It is up to red and yellow. They have to push now. They have to push. As yellow actually losing a bunch of his knights. I don't know what happened there, but red now losing a bunch of crossbows. They might be chemistry crossbows, but they still lose their army mass. The score has switched. Is Bloodseekers in a position to win this meta game here? Position for green and blue is much better on the south here than it is for red and yellow on the north. You can say whatever you want about a gray strategy, but he did commit to it. He did turtle up big time, and that took a long time. Took a long time for red and yellow to break into. And in that time, green and blue have switched, have turned the tables here, as orange is desperately trying to get a castle up here as well. Will not even get up here as the knights do make it into this part of the base. Starting to snipe some villagers as well. Blue dropping a castle over here on a hill too. Looking pretty dicey now. Orange castle does go up, but still. It will only stall out the pressure for a bit, for a short while, as all that the Vietnamese player has to do here is to just bring in some bombard cannons or trebuchets or any other kind of siege. Red does have a castle here, at least there's that. Gets the Arbalest upgrade, you know, at least, you know, Gray is not in Imperial Age, will not be able to defend himself against Imperial Age army, but that's the thing. He's still alive, he still has his base intact. Same with Teal, right? Like, Teal is also spamming knights right now. Orange is way deader than Gray is, that's for sure. I don't think they're going to give up just yet here. One problematic thing here is though that the Teuton player, as he's queuing some scouts, which you cannot upgrade by the way. You cannot upgrade the scouts. You can't get light cap with Teuton. As Yellow is sending his army here as well. They want to take a decisive fight against the Arbalest and the Knights from Green here. Before upgrades come in for Green, who has just clicked up the Imperial Age. If they can clear this up, that buys you a lot of time for Red to push on the other side as well. Red is going to have to do this kind of on his own here. Which I guess if you have Arbalest against Knights, should be possible. But not when you send your villagers out into nowhere. And Teal noticed that. No, that castle will never go up. Not a chance in a million years. That is a doubt castle right there. Ay, mangonel and crossbows. And oh, red. Oh, red. Nope. That is a doubt castle, alright. Trebuchet is now coming out for blue, taking out this castle slowly but surely. And yeah, green and purple and yellow, they're just not sure where to send their army right now. Like, do we take a decisive fight against blue, who will just reinforce that with more units? Or do we go to the right side and try to kill gray and teal? Like, what do we do here? Like, it's just such a difficult situation. But they have to make a decision soon. It looks like purple is about to run into this. Blue paying attention to this though. You notice that. It's still only Castle Age Knight. They might be Teuton Knights. But melee armor is not going to save you here. And blue microing away to his castle here. Might even get to the hill. There's a nice choke point there as well. How do you kill that which sits in a choke point, man? Look at that blue just sitting nicely in that choke point, and there's just so little damage that purple can do. I think they will still clean up this army. Well, it's actually still 40 Arbalest in that tiny spot here. So much military on the field right now for Bloodseekers, but most of it is going to go down here as the Arbalest are yet alive, even have the hill as well. Green fighting before upgrades, so he's losing the fight, and my god, the amount of military in the field. It's Paladin as well from the Lithuanian player, with 2 relics at least, because he has fully upgraded Paladins right now. But Red, he's still trying to push here, but he's not there yet. That castle is a bit of an overstretch there. Was it the conclusive fight that they needed there? Is Purple sending forward some villagers that should not go that far forward? Purple on his way to Imp though. Wait for your upgrades. Okay, well, guess Purple is going to commit to the fight here. Blue did walk out of his little safe space. Losing a bunch of Arbalest there. Green not here, but then the reinforcements come in and Purple should lose this fight now. And fighting before upgrades as well. And now you have extra melee armor. You can actually get your last armor upgrade as well. Yellow now joining with Paladins. I mean, they're giving it their all here. They're giving it their all, Team Secretito. They definitely want to. They don't want to lose this match point in the middle here. And with that, I mean like the third game, which is sometimes the most important game in the series. As Purple might be out of gold here because he's taking gold in a very questionable spot here, and that's not going to fly for sure. As we now have another castle attempt here from Purple, trying to get that up. Will it go up? I mean, Yellow will have to sacrifice his Paladins to do so. Taking some gold control, that's nice. I mean, Gray is still trying to go up here, but then Gray is just defending with elite skirmishers. He's up to Imperial Age as well, and I mean, Red is just not able to push right now. The Orange is rebooming. But yeah, of course, as soon as this line falls, then Orange will fall with it. And all that Blue has to do is just bring out some more traps, bring out some more bombard cannons, as he has queued 11 Arbalest from one range, instead of spreading them out. It comes down to red and yellow here. Like, Yellow has spent a lot of time with his army to the right. He's now going to swing his army on the left. He's now swinging his army back to the right here. That army needs to be there if Red wants to push something, because the skirmishers from Gray will definitely take nice fights here against the Arbalest, especially when they get fully upgraded. Green actually sending some of his units to the left, to the right as well to help. Yeah, Red should not take this fight. Wait until Yellow makes it to this battlefield as well. But Yellow didn't get... I don't think he has... quite has husbandry yet. At least his units looked really slow. I know the Teuton player doesn't have husbandry. And that's mostly scouts. That's just not a good unit with Teutons. Like, you don't... Yeah, it is the strongest scout on the field, for sure. I mean, look at the upgrades, but... No melee armor. It's not heavy cavalry by any means. And Teutons, they do heavy cavalry very well, but not much else. As the castle goes down on the front, I didn't think it would stay up too long here. And Orange will start losing economy again. And there's nothing that he can do about it. All the while, still, Grey is alive, and he's an Imperial Age. Even Teal can has clicked up here in a second, can actually get to Imperial Age unit. It can get the Paladin as well. What looked to be such a great position for Team Secretito is now turning into a nightmare here, as we have a 1-for-1. And Red loses the Mangonel. Oh, that sucks. And what does Orange do against this onslaught? What does he do? Just nothing. There's nothing that he can do here. Like, he doesn't have the economy to go for anything. I mean, he's still encapsulated, can't make any units whatsoever. So Orange just... all he can do is run. That's all he can do. Run away and try to go to Purple. But Purple only on 41 villagers too. Definitely took some damage here earlier. I'm not sure what happened, but I think he got raided then. Yeah, he did get raided. Yeah, so the left flank for Team Secretito fast dying here. The right flank is not pushing, is being pushed back by elite Imperial skirmishers. Oh, that was a good shot. That was a pretty good shot right there. Another one, another one. Oh, nice dodge there for Grey. Another shot. That was almost a really good shot. Yeah, capped ram coming forward now. Not something that Red will want to have to deal with here. This is also the moment when you just probably start to lose hope, as Yellow has to send more and more paladins to the south here in order to deal with the armies from Blue and Green. And Blue is again going to sit into a choke point here. Green is going to sit in front as a meat shield, and then Yellow is just going to die. Is just going to lose a lot of paladins here. Paladins that should be going forward, right? Going forward to help Red push Grey, but that's just not going to happen, as the castle for Red will start dying here. Now Teal even makes it to the Imperial Age as well. Purple is actually switching to Halberdiers because he just simply can't afford more paladins here. But the Halberdiers, of course, will not do very well against the Arbalest, and Yellow actually abandoning the fight right now. Yeah. Looking at the military number, if you look at the military for Team Secretito, it's just not there. It's just not there. Like, there's much more military on the field right now for Bloodseekers. Besides, they are pushing, something that Team Secretito is just not able to do. And they call it GG. They say GG, well played. And I agree, well played indeed. What a match this was. And Team Secretito taps out here. And Bloodseekers, are they going to go for the reverse sweep then? I mean, they technically should have lost another game if that was a reverse sweep. But yeah. GG, Bloodseekers taking the lead for the first time in the series here with a 2-1. And that was kind of unexpected. Like, based off of the performances in the first game, you would have expected Team Secretito here to take the win, considering they looked stronger in meta settings. But Bloodseekers proving that wrong by delivering a very strong performance on this map here. And yeah, I mean, questionable strategy at the start. Like, Teal and Grey were about to like get hit like they were in the first game. Like, it almost was a repeat of the first game. But yeah, Grey turtled up big time, and Red and Yellow weren't able to break into this base until quite late. And by that time, Orange and Purple had already lost the fight over here, and then lost the front of Orange's base. Like, the pressure from Green and Blue was really good, never letting Orange reboom into army and just pushing further and further and further. Another semi-throw. Yeah, I mean, it's less of a throw than last game. Like, last game, like Team Secretito was definitely in a winning position, whereas this game, it was looking good on the right, it was even on the left, you know. So that's, I wouldn't consider that a real throw in any case. It's just a game that like swings into the favor for Bloodseekers there, and it is defending is difficult, right? Because you're always bound to lose economy, because your economy is what you're defending. And your opponent's economy is just sitting safely behind that pressure. Which is why being in a defending position like Orange was, in the long term, you usually lose that. You usually lose that. Like Gray too. Gray would have lost that in the end, right? It was Imperial Age army for Red, but the thing was, Yellow kept having to send Paladin to the south, so Red was never able to push. If Red and Yellow had pushed Gray and Teal, this would have been a base straight of the game, right? And after that, it's Green and Blue versus Red and Yellow, right? But now, because Red was never able to really push into Gray's base, yeah, there was just no... There was no parallel to what was happening in the south of Team Secretito's base there. And that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, purple and orange, they're like, okay, we will delay, but what are we delaying for? If red and yellow are never able to push, then you're just delaying into perpetuity. And that, the defender always loses, as I like to say. Because, I mean, you can't win games by defending. At some point, you have to go in on the offensive. Unless, I guess maybe if you defend for hours and the attacker gets bored and calls to GG and quit, taps out. Then I guess defending wins, but... that takes a while. That definitely takes a while. And how you doing, Inman Thready? Glad to see you here today as well. Let's have a look at the statistics quickly, because we do need to move on, of course, to the next game. Let's see, we have in the red... let's see, we have lots of units killed there for red. I mean, he did definitely defended his side very well, but mostly on his own at some point, but he wasn't able to push there. Like, not a lot of buildings raised, no siege added, you know, things like that. I'm afraid that today you will cast me. I am in Regimiento, and that is true. I will cast the Regimiento today, so definitely stick around for that one. But yeah, great push there for blue and green. Definitely very good performance from them. I mean, we can look at the economy. You can definitely tell economy for orange was not that great, of course, because it got destroyed most of it at the start. I think this is more instructive here. Villager high there for teal, very high, you know, because he didn't go up to Imperial Age as fast, so he was adding more economy at the last part there. Good vill count there. Actually, not that many villagers for green. Like, that's for a pocket, that is actually a low vill count, considering. But not too far away from purple, so it was alright. And then on the nice boom there for yellow, that's good. Nice for red as well. Yeah. I mean, look, like right there, looked better for Team Secretito, but then these fights were bad for purple and orange, and then after that they were just pushed back further and further and further, and red and yellow weren't able to push gray and teal. So there you have it. There you have it. Alrighty, well, let's move on here. So we go to the fourth game, and I'm expecting sets to go to multiple games here. Now, of course, this is a match point for Bloodseekers. If they win the next game, they will go on to the finals for them, and there they will face... I'm not going to spoil that. I'm not going to spoil that. For those who haven't seen the first set, I won't spoil that. They will face a team, that I can tell you. Any case, but yeah, if Bloodseekers does win this set, they will go on and, you know, on after... to the finals, and of course Team Secretito would be out. But Team Secretito, going to their second home map, will not want to let that happen. So let's see what they have in store here on their... yeah, that's their other home map, yep. So, here we go. Load the game, perfect. Alrighty, welcome to the fourth game, and maybe the final game between... Bloodseekers and Team Secretito. It is 2-1 for Bloodseekers right now, so they will be very anxious to win this game and go on to the finals. But same for Team Secretito. Probably the nerves are starting to kick in for both team players right now. They know how much is on the line. They came so far, only to, you know, for one team at least, for all of it for them to end in this semifinal. So let's introduce the team whose home map this is here. So in the red, we have the Zeus playing as the Aztecs. Interesting pick. In the yellow, we have Brutal as the Huns. I love that. Negan here playing as the Cumans in the purple. I like that as well. And then we have Tomichiwara playing as the Bulgarians in the orange. Love it. Very good. That's an aggressive set for sure. On the other side, we have Isis Ragnar playing as the Japanese. Interesting. In the teal, we have David Spin playing as the Khmer. I like that. In the green, we have another Cuman player, this time played by Panzer in the green. And last here, we have Camilo playing as the Bohemians in the blue. Interesting. Interesting civ picks for both players here, because neither of these civs are particularly like exceptional on water here. Like, Aztec Navy is pretty much horrendous, honestly. On open water maps, right? Not so much here, because it's mostly just about fire ships. Which, do Aztecs get fast fire ship? I mean, we'll never... Actually, that doesn't matter. It never gets that far. It's too small of a pond. The same with Bohemia. It's not really a water civ either. Normally, a civ like Byzantines would be really good on this map. In any case, Byzantines, Portuguese do well. Let's talk about the map, shall we? So, like you already saw, there is a pond right between red and blue, the opposing flanks. Always between these two players, and those two players are always on this side of the map. So you at least know which side will be there. You can fight over the fish in the water. That will definitely help the flank player get up the imp faster than your opponent. Then we have some Atacama-like wood lines in the middle, which means thin in the middle, easily ranged by military, and also not that dense, which means there's lots of pathways to take through this map where you can go through the middle and raid your opponent from a place they would maybe not expect it. So you can't just wall the sides and be done with it. That's not how this works. Unless, of course, there's a wood line that runs all the way through the middle, which did actually happen the first time I casted this game. That was that's unique, though. That doesn't always happen. On the left side, we have a bit of a different terrain then. These are the titular pampas, actually. We have some clumps of wood here and there, but gray and teal will still have to go to the main wood line at some point. There's some extra resources around, some extra stones mostly, really. But it's very hilly, which is why people like to think that Tatars would be good on this map. Now, we already saw Tatars for the players that picked them. So we won't be seeing that here today anymore. But yeah, because of all these hills, it's easy to take nice fights with them. But honestly, the civ for me has been cursed. I'm not sure if my casting and me showing to all the players here how disastrous that picking Tatars can be on this map, even though it's supposed to be good. Maybe that helped discourage people from picking Tatars on this map. It's a shame though, because in theory it should be good, right? In practice though, yeah, it hasn't really worked out in most cases. Actually, there's only one game in which the Tatars actually, worked out, and not just because the rest of the team was winning and the Tatars player was surviving. It was because the Tatars player was actually pushing. So, it's not impossible, but it's rare. That's why I like to call it a curse. As that villager has looms, so this eagle should lose this battle. Should it? Maybe not. Blue, in any case, thinks not so he's just going to run back to the TC, and red does take some fire there, means he can't fight the scout from blue anymore. And blue is actually checking to see if red is docking. Hasn't docked himself either, he's actually gone for a mill, and if neither player docks, I guess the fish won't be important this match at all. I mean, why not, right? I mean, you don't have to go for fish, but it's free food, right? I'm taking a sip of water there. Definitely got to keep myself hydrated today because it's going to be a long one, all right? Yeah, I'm just waiting for people to go to the feudalates here. Now, I could talk about resources. I mean, that's a tricky gold right there for Gray. He has a gold to fall back on, though. It's always difficult to wall this part of the map because of all these hills. It's easy to forget about one tile and then there's a hole. And you know what they say about walls with holes in them? It's like there's no walls at all. A wall is only as good as its weakest part, and if there's a hole in your wall, then basically it's like there is no wall at all. It's like those people that stonewall half the map and then leave one tile open where there's like a palisade wall or something like that. It's yeah, that's not doesn't really work. And then Benji says that's deep, bro. Well, thank you. Oh man, and also good to see you, man. Good to see you. Well, red is gonna cozy himself into a nice little wood line over here. Probably might palisade wall this. Wow, it's actually a pretty safe wood line. There's a hole right there, though, so let's hope that red fixes that. But if he walls this, then this is the only way in and out from this wood line. So pretty secure. I like it. It's nice and cozy. Makes you feel safe. A wall is as strong as its weakest point, the red prince. Okay, we will write it down as a quote. It's true, though. Ooh, great. Was thinking about sniping a vill there, but yeah, orange does save that. Well, let's see what players are going to go for. It looks like a lot of some players are a bit behind to feudalate here, especially blue, actually, clicking up rather late here. I wonder. Let's have a look at the build count for blue. 23. Is that a fast castle attempt, perhaps? Or is that just rush into archers? Or just straight into archers? It's gotta be straight archers then, huh? Quotes, we need this command. Okay, you know what? I'll make a quotes command. That's fine. Let's see if I can make one that plays like a random quote of something that I've said on stream. I'd be fine with that. Well, I'm expecting some scouts from players, also maybe some walls. This is a tricky wood line, of course, for orange to be in. We'll definitely have to protect himself with some military. Archer range going up right now. Purple has some scouts out. Very good, very good. But yeah, the Khmer player, of course, is going to be very, very happy spamming scouts as well, using your instant drop-off farms there. You know, one of the best farming economies in the game. So yeah, they definitely enjoy spamming light calf line. Yeah, not a lot of aggression so far, and also no one is fighting for the fish here. So honestly, if I were blue or red right now, if I noticed that neither side has gone to water, dock. Like, literally, just dock. I mean, if you didn't want to invest because you thought you were going to lose water because you didn't have the sip for it, yeah, that makes sense. I can see that. But if neither side docks, whoever decides to dock first here gets a galley up on the other side, no dock will go up ever. Ever. And you have free food. Like, seriously, like, just dock. It's definitely worth it. But a little engagement there between Gray and Teal, and Gray is also going scouts. Ooh, double scouts then. That is a risk, though. That is definitely a risk. And free food is the best food, says Benjicello in chat, and I agree, it definitely is. We all love when we go to a restaurant and it's like, buy this and you get something for free. I mean, that burger just tastes so much nicer because it just has the sweet taste of no money being spent on it. That might just be my Dutchness talking then, I guess. It's that would be the stereotype for Dutch. We're supposed to be greedy and stingy with money. And also, like, very down to earth, I guess. Those are the stereotypes. Honestly, kind of true. Kind of true. Especially the second one. I can't disagree with that. Ooh, Gray finding the wood line for orange there, who did not protect that with walls or anything, and is going to lose 5 villagers there, because that's a bunch of scouts. Yeah, vills are trapped. Deleting the lumber camp here wouldn't make any sense. That doesn't help you, and yeah, that's a nice early snipe there for Gray and Teal. Orange will be kicking himself for that one. Not very happy with that, I am sure. Also because that was his entire wood economy, wasn't it? No, at least half of it. Yeah, it was half his wood economy. Yeah, so purple now will have to keep some scouts back to defend from this. Now the thing is, because your opponents are both going scouts, you can make spearmen here. Like, you make some spearmen, push both of this back. You can't really chase scouts, but scouts can take a fight against you if you use some spears here as well. As red comes forward with some archers, but is losing a bunch here to the armies from green and blue. It's a bit of an even match though, but yeah, now yellow joins in with his scouts. Should switch this fight immediately into favor for red and yellow, even though red only survives with 1 2 HP archer, which is not going to contribute all too much here. As purple, ooh, interesting, this is really smart from purple. If you can't fight them both at the same time, split them up and fight them individually, and he fought Gray there alone. So Gray scouts are rather weak right now. So when this fight happens, now purple actually has a good shot of winning this as well. Doesn't have a lot of upgrades on the scouts though. I think Teal should still win this and does in the end clear this up. But only with 2 scouts. Actually, no. Purple wins the fight. Those scouts were weak. Very nice job for purple. Beating both these scout armies by himself. That's good. That's really good. That's smart, right? Divide et impera, as they say, as the Romans would say, you know, or Napoleon would say. You split up your enemy armies and beat them both individually. Yeah, lots of scouts on the field here for yellow. And ooh, blue. Yeah. Oh, if he kills the spear, he can kill this entire army right there. Actually, there's 3 spearmen. Maybe not so much. You need to wait until red comes in to play as well, so he can snipe those spearmen for you. And after that, yellow can clean up these archers. Yeah, red is going to take out the spearmen there, right there. Very nice. Only 1 weak spear in there. Goes down, and blue is going to lose all his units right there. What a clear up there for yellow and red. Before the scouts from green could even get close to that. That's how fast that army goes down. Awesome. That's good. Good teamwork there as well. As is that a sneaky tower? Is this Vivi? Is this Vivi? Must be. I kind of like it. I mean, honestly, I would have put the tower right there, right? And then you can wall it in right here. You can even chop wood safely there then. Honestly, like, this tower is more easily killed. But honestly, I like the tower anyways, because purple not seeing that coming for now. It can't be denied because there's a spearman protecting, so that's good stuff. Orange now also coming forward with some archers as well. He didn't get hit as much by the aggression from gray and teal after his wood line got massacred. That is. Ooh, blue also towering his wood line, recognizing the threat that, well, I just lost my army, and this army can easily go to the back of my wood line and deny my wood, which of course is not something that you want on this map. I do like that he has gotten the walls up, you know, nice and safe walls, double in the weak spots. That's good. As is that a hole? Wait, is that a hole? How is that a hole? How do you wall this and this be a hole? What? Well, red is like, oh, I think red didn't even realize that this is a hole. Now he sees it. He's like, wait a minute. That's a hole? He's probably telling yellow like, yo, dude, there's a hole. Let's go. Looks like yellow is still chasing the scouts around for his archers. And yeah, red did get fletching. He does have fletching right here. So, yeah, I can... blue does as well. As, ooh, red, don't lose your archers now. Red. Well, that's 3 archers going down there for red. That's, yeah, now he realizes that was a bit less good. But, yeah, blue's going to patch that hole too. I wonder if they could have taken more advantage of that hole then. But, yeah. In any case, Khmer player just happily dropping a little tower there on purple's wood line. Purple will have to relocate that for now. It's not cheaper for him because he's Cuman, but yeah. Red would have a better chance team walling yellow. That's a nasty wall. Yeah, it's a... Oh yeah, the yellow walled out red, didn't he? And now they're walling individually. Well, There's actually more walling than walling this side. Like, this is not a very big wall. And then I guess on this side as well. This is more walling from both teams here. Both players, I mean, so... And the spearmen are going to raid the wood line here. And these spears have no upgrades. So villagers can easily fight these spears, by the way. Not so much the scouts, though. Scouts can't do this, and actually he's sending in his knights for now, so... Might give up 1 villager. No, that will escape, so... Yeah. Ooh. Oh, spearman rush. Yep, exactly. As well, knights should make short work of these spearmen. They have a very high base attack, so they kill spearmen fast before they can do a lot of bonus damage. And that's the key with killing spearmen. You need to kill them fast. It's about attack, not so much about defense. Because they do too much bonus damage to you. As blue is still trying to keep out this army, you know, walling behind with some houses, with the blacksmith as well. It's kind of pushed off of the right side of this wood line for now. Looking good for yellow and red so far. Yellow is in castle place, red not so much here. Blue is on the way up though. And honestly, red, seriously, I can't believe that neither side has dropped the dog here. Like, I mean, I can understand the choice not to go for a dog, but if you realize that both players haven't gone for a dog, then at that point you just drop a dog. It's way easier to deny your opponent's dog if you can get a galley out, right? Get a galley out, and they will never get to water, ever. And you have free fish for life. Imagine the fish boom you can have on that. I think for now, I mean, Team Secretito's position without that is good, and blue is not really in a position right now to throw down any dog. So let's see where yellow and red are going to send their army. They don't want to fight against this wall, so instead they're going to look to the left here. Maybe they're allergic to seafood. No, they might very well be, right? I mean, it's salmon. Not everyone loves salmon as much as T90 does. So, and tuna, yuck! I wouldn't eat tuna either. I wouldn't eat tuna if I was starving. It's disgusting to me. Yeah. I mean, I understand that lots of people probably like it, but I don't. Personally, I'm not really a fan of it. As purple breaking in the back of gray's base, and gray now scrambling up some houses to protect his gold here. Good job on the wall so far, but yeah, the knights are in, and they have +2. Yep, Cuman Knights +2, and purple about to take some revenge here as there's a hole. No, and this is what I mean, the hills, man. It's so difficult to see whether your walls are fully up, and the knights make it into the base here, make it into the gold, and gray is pushed off of that gold for now. And gray's not gonna love life here, that's for sure. Teal trying to send in some knights, but there's way more knights for the Cuman player for purple right now. Oh my god, that's good. At the same time, Yellow running through this hole in the wood line. Now hitting Teal in the back as well. So Teal has to defend on both sides. Orange is here with archers in the wood line. Wow, this is just going from 0 to 100 just like that. Team Secretito right now just destroying Bloodseekers right now on the left side. That could get way worse for green and blue on the right side as well. As looks like a bunch of archers did go down there to the knights, I think. Something went down there. But yeah, purple is just denying the entire economy now for gray, sniping the few archers that he did have. And again, the Japanese player just kind of on the back foot here. But this time it's the other team. And orange has a large amount of potential crossbows here. He's not going to upgrade them though, because he's Bulgarians. And Bulgarians don't get crossbow. So not potential crossbows, they will just be archers. So orange is not going to care about this mass. Kind of a, yeah. I guess he could have gone for scouts himself then, instead of going for archers then. You know, who knows. But yeah, he's going to go for cavalry archers now, I like that. Bulgarian cavalry archers, they get full upgrades, so it's fine. You know, that's totally fine. Yeah, and purple still denying the gold tier, sniping more and more villagers. Gray's trying to go back to it, but he's just losing more and more army, and purple will just happily send in more units there. Teal is busy defending his own base. Now finds the archers though. Archers with Botkin arrow. When do you ever see that? In the 5 seconds between the Botkin arrow upgrade coming in and the crossbow upgrade coming in. That's when you see that. But yeah, these of course cannot be crossbow. But because they have Botkin arrow, they can actually kind of kill knights a little bit. They do 2 damage to these. 3 damage actually, because these are not +2 knights. So Teal in the end might actually lose a bunch of knights here to units that orange doesn't care about. And what was that? I saw that. Elephants? Awesome. Let's go. Junker boys. Ooh, what's going on the other side? Green chasing an army from yellow at the back of his base. Blue now having to defend on the front of his base. Like, this is a complete reverse here from the last game. It's totally in Team Secretito's control now. This is their game to lose with the advantage that they have right now. A town center being denied for gray as well. I hope he deleted that. But I don't think so. Didn't get any stone back. Yeah, just completely on the back foot here. And the vill counts for Team Secretito should start to climb here as they add more economy. As there's now villagers right there doing nothing. I mean, it's just... Oh, a fight in the middle of blue's base as well. And green just does not have the units here. Doesn't have the range support necessary to fight here. And again, armies for blue and green going down on the right side as well. And Team Secretito is saying, we don't need water. We're strong enough without it, man. We don't need that fish. And blue is actually just going to call it quits here. He's going to run away with the vills. But no, so many vills get slaughtered here before they can make it back to the TC. And now there's not enough villagers to really do a lot of damage to the knights. So yeah, the crossbows can just happily sit underneath here. And blue is down to how many vills? 27, most of whom are chopping wood. On the other side, the Chonka boys, of course, cannot really stop the pressure from purple and orange here, as it's now cavalry archers. Not really a unit you want to see if you don't really have an army on the field to contest that right now. The Khmer player trying his best here to spam more knights and more knights here, but he just doesn't have the numbers to contest this. In the meantime, the Cuban player can just happily boob along. Orange can add more villagers. Everyone can add more villagers except the Bloodseekers team. I just don't see Team Secretito losing this game. Like, I'm not seeing them lose this. Like, how? How would you lose it at this point? The military control is completely in the hand for Team Secretito. And unlike that second game where they did end up losing that, right? Kind of, you know, like the quote-unquote throw, right? I don't think that's going to be the case this time around. It's not going to be. There's no giant Imperial Age camel army that can snipe, say, the cavalry archers from orange. It doesn't exist. And Grey now losing his crossbows once more, has nothing to defend himself here. On the right side, blue is just completely dead on this side. You know, will be pushed back here. He's forced to go for trash now, I guess. Yep, trash. With Bohemians. I mean, at least your spearmen do a lot of damage to the knights, so at least there's that. But they will die to the crossbows, of course. As now they have a choice, like, do we follow up our attack on Gray, as we have a Krapos? Let's go. Krapos rushing your opponent. Great move. Great position. We'll keep Gray into his base for now, so they can focus on Teal, pushing Teal off a gold, and it's just getting it worse and worse. This snowball accelerated fast. Like in the last 10 minutes, shit's hit the fan. That's what they would say here. And Steel now taking a last desperate fight to protect his gold, but he knows he can't hold this. Same thing for Green. He was forced to put up a castle there to protect himself. Trying to hold this pressure back for now, but Yellow will just go imp here. And he is going imp with Huns. He's just looking really good for Team Secretito right here. I don't know what else to say. Like, they have so much map control, they can deny everything. Anything they want, they can do whatever they want at as much eco as they want. That's just something that Gray and Teal can't do. As Teal now losing his final knights, and I wonder how long they are going to continue to play here, as Teal is no longer making knights anymore. Doesn't quite have the resources to really continue spamming here. And yeah, Teal's just kind of dead. No walls for protection and nothing to deal with this. The only one still kind of alive is Green. But can Green do it all on his own? No. Because he's not going to be able to get up the imp here because he's spamming knights from 5 stables. Which means that as soon as Yellow Yellow hits imp and Red hits imp, it's not doable anymore. And they called it GG. They realized that they have been defeated on this map. And we will go to a game 5 between these two amazing teams. Wow, that was great. GG, really well played by Team Secretito, by the way. That was awesome. Like, again, like the first game, expert early aggression, completely catching Bloodseekers off guard. Despite Bloodseekers, having some early advantages with the scout rushing there, definitely clearing up some villagers from Orange there. But yeah, the fight that Purple took here was really good, like killing more scouts by himself by splitting up the armies and then killing them both at 1-for-1. After that, the momentum was gone for Bloodseekers, and they were just on the defense on the left. On the right side, again, a good fight there for Red and Yellow, where they cleared up Blue's army, the little army that he had at that point. And at that point, Blue would have to defend behind walls. And yeah, Yellow and Red never gave that up. And it's just an advantage that they snowballed, and snowballed hard. That was a good game. I like that game. Let's have a quick look at the statistics, but I know that you guys are probably as anxious as I am to go on to the next game, and the final game that I can say with certainty right now. Let me actually update the scoreboard here, so we know for sure. There you go. Everyone can see 2-2. Game 5, man. I would have expected no less from teams that have made it this far. Looking at the score here, great KD there for Purple. Yeah, again, Purple. Yeah, that was a great fight there on the left side. Really killing a lot of units there. Poor Gray and poor Teal, man. Especially Gray losing a lot. And the army count just never that high for Bloodseekers. They were just never able to really mass army. They were continuously making army and losing army as fast as they were making it. And that's not a recipe for winning games, so that's for sure. Looking at the timeline. Yeah, look at this. It's convincing. After this giant fight on both sides, boom. It was kind of over at that point. Alright, like I said, I don't want to hang around too much. We've already seen so much statistics. Let me get a glass of water here. Or a sip from my glass of water. Alrighty. Are you ready? Final game. The final game of this best of 5 will be on the home map of Bloodseekers. That is Kanagawa. A map that has produced amazing games anyways. And I expect no less from these two teams here. So without further ado, let me just check one thing here before we get started. Without further ado, let's go into game 5. Alrighty. So, welcome to the final game between Team Secretito and Bloodseekers. The game that will decide which team will make it to the finals and face off face up against the other player there. Benji saying Secretito knocked us out. Yeah, Capybara, right? So I hope they win. Yeah, because that way you have a chance to have lost to the champion, which feels better, right? I agree. But yeah. Let's introduce the players one final time, or at least for one team, it will be the final time that I will be introducing them. So, let's start with the team whose home map this is. In the blue, we have Isis Ragnar playing as the Aztecs. Awesome. In the green, we have Davides Spin playing as the Berbers, a civ that they saved especially for this map, I am sure. Lithuanians here for Panzer, I love that, in the teal. And in the gray, we have Saracens for Camilo, a very strong archer civ. My god. My god. Then on the other side here, we have Tomichiwa playing as the Saracens as well. We have a Saracen mirror on this side. Very good. In the purple, we have Khmer for Negan. Like that as well. In the yellow, we have Sicilians now for Brutal. Will probably help him against any camels that might come out. And then last but not least, we have the Zeus playing as the Vietnamese. A stiff that they said they saved for, a later match here. And there we go. And again, like Benji already said in chat, this is indeed an interesting map because it's all about the two golden pits, right, that are between the flank players you want to control in your late game. How do you control a golden pit like that? Well, most of the time, especially if you play normal ranked map, you build a castle, right? Just drop a castle and you win. Not that easy on this map though, because you indeed do not have stone in your main base, as you can see. So if you want stone to protect your own base, to protect your gold, or wherever else you would want a stone, you have to mine it in the middle of the map. This is the only stone on the map, and I love this aspect of the map, by the way. It really punishes people that just want to go for a castle if they don't protect their stone mining operation with military or defensive buildings. Often the case, the first castle that people build goes up on the stone so they can still keep getting more of it. Now, another thing is also that, like, because the stone is right here, like, the chances that you have stone ready to drop a castle if need be to protect your base from a rush, very low, actually. I've seen cases where people got at the imp, had a castle in their face, and then normally you just drop your own castle and trap it back, right? Well, wrong, because he didn't have stone. He couldn't drop his own castle, so he had to go for a ram push, which just didn't really pan out too well for them there. So, any case. Oof. Okay, well, that's the map. I mean, for the rest, the resources are standard here. You do have 8 tiles of gold in total, so that will run out sooner rather than later. So you do have to make a move on the middle at some point. You kind of want to control at least one gold pit, right? At least one. If you lose access to both, that is not a recipe for success on this map, because that just means that your opponent will be able to make Paladin and you're stuck with Hussar, unless you trade. And again, getting trade up is so expensive that you need gold for that as well. That's the irony, right? You gotta invest in gold into trade so you can get gold. Just like real life, right? You gotta invest to get some. Okay, so the only thing that I want to check here is for the flanks. I want to see if their golds are in the same spot, because that is a problem if your opponent comes forward and denies your gold. There's no gold to fall back on then. But it's not the case for red and blue. What about gray? Not really either. I mean, if he walls a bit in between, then, it's split up. What about orange? No. So no one has problematic gold spots, where the gold is just so close together it can be denied in one fell swoop. No one has that, so that's good. Now, a map like this, right? You're further away from your opponent as the flank, further away than Patagonia or most other maps. So a civilization that needs a bit more time, say a Chinese, right, do well on a map like this because they get a bit more time as well. So I like that. As gray, kind of, you could have walled between the wood lines there, but whatever, it's fine. Team walling on this map is very much possible because your bases are usually very close together, and honestly, it's less walling than individual walling. You just need to coordinate that, but I think team walling is always worth it. If you can pull it off, that is. Now, the thing with team walls is, if your enemy does break through, they can run through all 4 bases, right? So you definitely need to protect your team wall very well, but it does limit the mobility from your opponents significantly. Like, they can't run through the bases here and get to the back of your base, find holes or any villagers that are straggling behind, Lots more space to expand to that is safe already. So it has benefits, it also has some drawbacks, you know, like anything in Age of Empires. That's why it's such a balanced game. Now, you don't often see men-at-arms on this map, precisely because it takes a while for them to go to the front, and by the time that you get to your opponent's base, often case the walls are up or the archers are out already, so you won't be able to do that much damage. Although that said, I have seen successful men-at-arm rushes on this map, so it's not impossible, it's just improbable. As we'll just have scouts now for both pocket players. Yellow and purple, the first to make it to the feudal age as well, so they will at least be able to get scouts out a bit faster than everyone else. Yeah, people will just be walling up. And blue, very good for blue, checking whether there's a hole there. Although, honestly, what you do in that case, if your villager's right here, just click it beyond the wood line. If it walks to the right, you know there's a hole. If it walks to the left, you know there's no hole, because then it paths the other way around. So you don't have to walk all that way. But it's good that blue here checks that, just to make sure, because one hole, yeah, that can be pretty bad for you. So let's see. I wonder if players are going to go to the center as well. Although I'm not expecting that to before Castle Age, though. I think most players will go to the center once they can build an extra town center to protect their vills here. So that makes sense. Now, considering the draft for both teams, right? Like, Bloodseekers definitely prepared their draft for this map. They got Aztecs, a civ that does really well on a map with a lot of gold, because you can always go for eagles, which is great. You know, that's definitely very good. And thank you for the follow there, Martin D. Really appreciate that. I love Berbers. Again, Berbers do really well on gold rush type maps. They really do. I love Lithuanians on this map. Since you have the relics, you know where they are, you can definitely go and get them. And Lithuanian knights in Castle Age with +6 attack, yeah, there's nothing that can match that. They can kill camels then. Something that normal knights can't do, of course. And then over here, you know, Saracens, you know, for both players here. I love Saracens. I've really warmed to Saracens as a civ. They're actually not that bad. They are. You can actually have a very decent eco bonus if you can know how to use the market. And their archers they break through buildings so easily, man. It's so easy to push into someone's base with that. So that's great. As we have a team wall now going on for a Team Secretito, they do have to coordinate that a little bit, though, because Orange is now walling here, so there's still a hole there, so we'll see. Yeah, if the walls go up, then it's all good. As for the civs for the rest of the civs for Team Secretito, I mean, Vietnamese is a good archer civ, so no complaints there. Of course, they will struggle against eagles if they do come out, although they have champions, so I guess there's that. Sicilians I like, considering you're up against Berbers. A civ that I don't think, yeah, they didn't have that civ available to them anymore. So yeah, Sicilians are a beastly civ if you can get to Halberg Cavalier. You know, archers don't do well against that, and I think Sicilian sergeants do well against eagles as well. Not so much by chasing them, but if it gets to a pitched fight, then yeah, I prefer the sergeants. And last, I mean, purple Khmer. Games have got, you know, games have gone that late that no one has the gold anymore on this map, or at least no one has saved gold to mine, and then suddenly the Khmer Hussar spam becomes very dangerous. Yeah, for now, green kind of backing up here. It's waiting for blue to send in some archers for reinforcement as well. Blue has good numbers as well, equal to red, you know, so it's a bit of a standoff. Both players kind of feeling the waters here, and both teams will know how much there is on the line right now. I bet the stress must be through the roof for both these teams. Like, I can only imagine, I can only guess at how nervous both players, the players from both teams must be. Like, I mean, you've played 4 matches already. I mean, I get tired after I play 2 matches, man. And then these beasts have been going at it for like a good, well, it must have been almost 2 hours now. Crazy. It's impressive as well. So, and of course, fatigue will set in as well, you know, where you will make some mistakes here and there. Yeah, Teal's just kind of running through. He's losing some scout numbers there, though. But at least the scouts for purple aren't attacking gray or anything like that. Not that gray is going forward archer or anything. I'm not actually sure what gray's plan is here. He's making archers. And a market. Of course he is, because why not? I mean, a market for Saracens is so cheap, you might as well wall with it. Has way more HP than a palisade wall, so, you know. Well, blue and green looking to do some damage to red here, but red has... I was gonna say has walled up the right side, but there's a hole, a giant gaping hole. How is that not walled? Red. Uh-oh. Okay, well, blue is actually more interested in denying the wood line first. But imagine if he just sneaks around and doesn't announce his arrival, right? He doesn't tell red that he's here right now. Like, imagine if he does that. Oh my god. And indeed, the market abuse is cheaper with Saracens because they are, you know, they're good traders. They get a better discount on all the resources here. As blue is trying to wall out this army, but that house is really, really weak. So red could run through here if he wanted to. And blue's like, nope. Honestly, oh, they expect it to be not walled, but the archers were walking that way as well. Blue, click beyond it. I bet if they're watching this back right now, they're probably like, oh, man, really? That's not walled? I mean, they're going to break through here anyway, so that's having Saracens on the team for you. Like, it's easy to break through buildings because, you know, because it's easier to break through buildings with the Saracen bonus, of course. As, oh boy. Bloodseekers do make it into the base, but blue leaving, or at least green leaving blue, and the archers now, oh yeah. Archers get cleared up for blue, and that is not what green and blue were hoping for. Like I said, if they had snuck around here, yellow and red wouldn't have been back here, and he could have gotten a lot of villages on this wood line. Exactly, Saracens with the anti-builder bonus. In the meantime, here, I mean, that applies to orange as well, of course. I mean to red and to blue. As red is taking a fight on his own. These are tanky scouts, of course. They do have some armor. They do not have bloodlines, so there's that. As red is fighting his way out and again breaking through the same freaking hole here that green tried to wall up now, because they realize if we're team walling here, we need to patch that hole up, otherwise these archers can just keep coming in and keep being annoying here, as some villagers for the Berber player will go down despite them being speedy, able to get out of a pinch quickly. I'm not sure who this is better though for now, because I mean, Bloodseekers, they were able to break into red space, but they weren't able to do a lot of damage there because they announced their presence too early. They had snuck around, man, if only they had known. Like, the archers were actually walking that way because I think blue pathed them around it, but then blue corrected that because he probably thought that's not the right way to go. Ironically, that was the right way to go. If only he had known that, because now red didn't have to send back his archers to defend himself. Because yellow cleared up those archers by himself in a really good fight there. That was good. Waiting for a right moment, and now red is still being annoying in the back of green's base, and green will not be happy about that one, I can tell you that. Ay. Scouts going down, and now green will have to abandon his gold. And you already have so little gold on this map. More villagers going down there. Only saved by the fact that they are Berber villagers which run faster. For now, teal and gray still holding on the left side, but they're not pushing out just yet. And yeah, the army control is for purple and orange for now. They have better army on the field, and purple is therefore allowed to drop a town center on the gold. I like that. Using your map control to do that, that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Oh god. Blue and green are not loving life right now. It was looking okay, right? If they had kept their armies alive in the back of red base, you know, they would have been able to do some counter damage. But right now, getting punished hard here. Especially since green is not up to castellates here as well. Oh, and that sucks, because that is when Berbers actually become really strong with the cheap knights. Like, you want to get the castellates as fast as possible with Berbers. Like, you don't want to stay in feudalates any longer than you have to. Like, they're one of those civs that really want to get the castellate fast, because that's where all their options are. As now gray is also still in feudalate. Ay, this is not looking good for Bloodseekers right now. Not looking good at all for Bloodseekers. Half their team is still stuck in feudalates, hasn't even clicked up yet. And gray is trying to idle his economy right now. Just doesn't really have the amount of food here. I think he will have to buy his way up at this rate. But yeah, he's bound to lose a bunch of archers there. These archers only do 1 damage versus the knights. And Gray's gonna lose that army and will never see it become crossbows. And the other Saracen players like, see, my market abuse is superior to yours. I don't actually know if Orange used the market. I know that Gray will have to use the market here if he wants to get up. There's no other way. As red finally loses his archers here, and blue is going to go for eagles now, probably realizing he's behind in the archer counter. He's got to be, right? He probably figures as much. So he's going to switch into eagles. That was probably the plan already, as we have a forward villager. Is that a towerville there? Guess we'll see in a sec, but right now, lots of stuff going on. As I mean, Gray, in this case, I mean, attacking the knights here doesn't really make a lot of sense because you don't do a lot of damage. It's actually better to try to snipe the crossbows because with archers, you can still do damage to crossbows here. We had Teal taking a good fight there, killing a lot of crossbows there, despite the micro from orange, microing away from the knights here. But now, purple joining in with his knights as well. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, God. It all comes down to green and blue, but green only now makes it to castle age, and yellow and red moving their armies forward. Getting eagles out is the hardest thing to do because they train so slow, even if you're Aztecs with the faster military production. And also, the Aztec player is sending eagles to the left there. Okay, he had more than I thought he did. We might be in another situation where Teal needs help from green and blue, and if that's the case, then it's kind of a similar situation that Team Secretito was in the third game. It's just not looking too hot here. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say, and I kind of feel bad as well because both teams played so well. So well. Bloodseekers as well. They even got ahead at one point with a fantastic victory on Ciudad Fantasma. Really well played. But it just looks... It looks grim. It looks very grim. It's going to take a miracle right now for them to get back into this game as yellow and red make their way into blue's base. Blue's army being on the other side of green space as well. Like, how do we deal with this here? As Teal tried to drop a town center on the middle, but orange with some crossbows happens to run into that and denies that. Like, everything that could go wrong in this game is going wrong right now. Like, not even the Lithuanian player doesn't even get to control the relics. It's actually Yellow who's patrolling, and he's actually going to snatch those relics away, making sure the Lithuanian player never gets the relics here. Eagles cleaning up the crossbows, though, but the knights should still clean up the eagles, because they still lack some armor there. It's just like, I still don't know what to say about this at this point, right? Like, you don't... It just sucks. It sucks if you're a Bloodseekers because you played so well, you got so far, but Team Secretito just proving too strong on Kanagawa as well. A map that I know most teams know how to play because this is one of the most picked maps of the tournament. So yeah, picking this map is always a risk because you know your opponent is likely to know how to play it. A map like Terrazas Andinas, for example, not a lot of teams know excel on that map either. So you know. And right now, even if yellow and red lose all their army here, they're still in a better position than blue and green. Especially if you look at vill counts as well. Much higher vill counts overall for Team Secretito. Not so much for Bloodseekers, because they're still trying to fight as good as they can. Yeah, and green, I mean, he's in Castle Age. At least he can spam cheaper knights now. Like, there's that, but... Yeah, as blue is still losing eagles to the knights as well. In the meantime, Teal now losing his economy to purple and to the crossbows. He's even had to switch into light cap with Lithuanians. Ay, ay, ay. Doesn't have the gold anymore. Trying to drop a TC on his other gold, so at least he can take some gold again. Light cap trying to get into the crossbows, but yeah, the micro from orange is really good. They probably know what the position they're in is really good right now. They probably know that this game is theirs to lose right now, as gray and teal's bases lie in ruin and red and yellow are still denying a forward from blue and green, and they probably start to lose all hope here. They probably realize that this game, that it is just not meant to be, and they call it GG. The GG is called, and Bloodseekers tapping out. Good luck next. I like that. Very good. Like the sportsmanship here. It is Team Secretito that will go on to the finals for Category C after an amazing set. GG. Awesome, you guys. And this was so good, I'm going to spam my own emote in my chat right now, if you don't mind here. Wow, this was really good, you guys. There. See, we put the GGs in chat. That's what we do. Hey, guys. Woo. GG. Like, this game is just... It was kind of similar to the first game, where Bloodseekers just caught off guard by the early aggression from Team Secretito. Just never able to establish a foothold on the other side here, and it was really just Team Secretito that controlled all the gold here, that controlled the forward position for their team. I mean, Bloodseekers have proven that if they can get to like later stages of the game, like Castellates and Imperials, they have proven to be very good at that, very much so. But I think overall, Team Secretito is the earlier. They are better at the earlier wars, at least in this matchup. That's my observation so far. But then did both teams play their hearts out here? And I mean, I know that Bloodseekers must be heartbroken to make it this far and then be pushed out of the semifinals. But man, they gave it a fight. They can be proud of themselves. But of course, congratulations to Team Secretito. They are probably proud of themselves as well. And they will have to prepare themselves for the finals that will happen sooner or later there. As Martin Day says, I am Negan, great cast. Well, thank you, man. And you, great play, man. Great play. Deserved win. Deserved win. And man, this was an amazing set. I love this. You guys made it so much fun for me here. Almost feels like it could have been a final. And, you know, for at least one team, it was a final. But yeah, like, again, the KD says it all here. The fights that were taken by Team Secretito here, even when they didn't have that much more military overall. I mean, if you count out orange, that is, and purple, they were spamming a lot. But still, even the fights they were taking were, on average, better. And an eagle switch is difficult, right? It's difficult, you know, because it's expensive. It takes a while to master them, and encapsulates are not that impressive. It's only in Imperial Age, but elite eagle warriors, that is an unstoppable force right there. But you need to get there, and that's always the trick there. So, but I still, the possibility is nice to have as Aztec, so I like that as well. Looking at the economy, great food economy for the Khmer player there. Absolutely no one's surprised by that. That's what Khmer do. And more gold collected for overall for Team Secretito, considering they had the middle as well. You know, that's good stuff. Villager highs, yeah, this says it all. As well, you know, weren't able to boom, and especially green being denied to get the Castellates for a very long time definitely did not help their side. You know, Berbers is a Civ that can come back in Castellates, right? Because they can spam knights, and that really helps a lot. But you have to get the Castellates first, and as you can tell, quite late for gray and green, and we're so delayed that they weren't able to really contribute there anymore. So, GG.